This episode of the We Like Shooting Show is brought to you by Faxon Firearms, Polymer 80, Bowers Group, Hackett Equipment, Franklin Armory, and Brownells.
Welcome to the We Like Shooting Show, episode 354. Tonight we're going to talk about 3rd Gen Tactical, VaperTrek, the Striker Control Vise, Taurus G3c, and more. That you, Rona? Our panel tonight is Jerambe Pozderac from River's Edge Tactical in Valley City, Ohio. We got Savage Winnar checking in from the Chaz. We got Aaron Krieger, the Machine Gun Moses in Michigan. Nick Lynch is by my side. My name is Shawn Heron, and I want to welcome you all to the show.
Bringing it back.
Dude, yeah, I like it. I like it. What was that, Arsenio, right?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Whatever happened to him?
If everyone could do that, if they see us in public, just start doing that. That would be amazing.
I think, doesn't he have another show now?
I thought he died.
I thought he was back on TV.
Arsenio? I thought he was trying to get back on.
I think he died.
There's
I
a
think
new
he died of Corona.
There's a new Coming to America movie coming up.
Didn't he have
No
AIDS
way.
for like 27 years?
I don't know what I mean.
Magic Johnson.
Oh.
He's still alive,
All right. Well, if you say so.
64 years old.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. We're all pretty shocked about that.
What the?
Well, how old is Eddie Murphy?
Probably pretty close
Yeah,
to
it
the
must be
same
about the
age.
same.
Yeah, but he's not trying to get back into stuff. Wait, is he in Coming to America?
kind of
I don't know. I have to look this up.
Yeah.
Well, he's in
I
Shrek
just-
all the time.
Eddie Murphy is 59. He's actually younger than Arsenio.
Arsenio's old enough to know better. Yeah, it's true.
Oh, yeah, no, they're both in Coming to America, too.
Okay, actually,
Holy
I'm
shit.
completely sold. It is going to
With
be...
James Earl Jones and John Amos.
Oh, my God.
Wait, James Earl Jones is alive?
It lists him as being in the cast. I don't know if he's alive. Yeah, he's 89 years old.
That's unacceptable.
Wow.
He let the new Star Wars movies happen, and he was still alive. Like, J.E.J.
Dude, I love James Earl Jones in Black Panther. He did a great job.
Wait, what? That wasn't James Earl Jones.
I like
Yeah,
him.
it was. He starred with Lou Ferrigno.
I liked him in Conan with Lou Ferrigno.
I am looking forward to Coming to America, too. Hey, if you're listening to this and you want to hear the unbleeped podcast version, you have to join the Gun Cult. Go to theguncult.com, and that's where you can sign up and get that link and all that good stuff. Did you guys know that Polymer 80 actually has released their full firearm now? Did you know it?
It's available?
It is.
Sweet.
So,
I want one.
go to polymer80.com, and you're going to look for the PFS 9 is what
Okay.
it's called.
I'm doing it right now.
All right, we are looking for the...
They're shipping tons out. I know one of their retailers got a ton in. I don't know exactly where it is on the website, but yeah, they're out there. They exist. I'm seeing like reviews come up for them. We'll have one on the way soon. Man,
Nice.
I'm pretty excited for them. I know it's something they've been working really hard on for quite a while, and I think that's pretty cool. So if you want to make your own, whether the BBS, the Buy, Build, Shoot, are out of stock right now, but now that these the big orders of the actual serialized pistol frames are going out, everything should start coming back into stock very soon. So go check them out, polymer80.com. Coupon code WLS. Where is it? WLS is life, saves you 15% off all day, every day. And you know we like to give you the best discounts, and we always try to get more than anyone else for our listeners. And again, WLS is life, saves you money on that gun, on the parts for your own, everything that Polymer 80 makes. All right. So we don't have a guest tonight. He didn't show up. So I wanted to talk about the Chaz.
Wait, instead, should we just spend the next hour shaming him?
I mean, I'm fine with that, actually, yeah.
Shame.
Who's our guest supposed to be?
It's in
Or
the
we're not gonna
notes.
say it.
I don't care. Mountain Man Medical.
He's mounting a man.
Here's
Oh, the
the
medical?
med kit that we were going to talk about and his YouTube channel, but we're not going to talk about that now. So
Bummer.
It's funny watching seeing our cameras. Savage looks like a soap opera from the 80s, you know, when they changed over to that weird.
he kind of does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's freaking me out.
It's like full frame.
All
What
I
kind of
need is a
weirdo
li-
Days of Our Lives is this?
Right?
I'm waiting for his long dead brother to come out. Like, no, I'm sleeping with your wife.
And he has a mustache, but she never noticed.
He's got the goatee.
Yeah, so we emailed the link to the guest. He didn't show up. So instead, we're going to talk about the Chaz. And not just, I do want to get some of our opinions on kind of what's going on there and like some of the stories we've read and heard. But then I want to lay out like the WLS vision for an autonomous zone. All right. So first off, what is the Chaz?
Chaz is like
Capitol Hill autonomous.
Well, is it Chaz or is it Chop?
It's Chaz is like the name that you give to a jock character in a fictional story when Chad isn't cool enough.
Hold on a second.
So Chaz is like way cooler a name, right?
My son's middle name is Chaz.
Yeah, and it's way cooler than Chad,
Yeah.
right? It's like Chad, but
yeah.
cooler.
Yeah. So I keep laughing every time I see it because I just want to text him.
Is it short for Chasworth?
No, it was like it was actually it was
Chastity. It's short for chastity.
my mom.
Chester?
My mom wanted to name me Chaz, and my dad wouldn't let her. So she told me that story my whole life. So when it came, I had 4 kids. Jesus, you can run out of originality. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying your dad did you one solid?
Yeah, dude. But it's a good middle
Can you
name.
imagine?
Yeah, it's a good
Chaz
middle name.
Heron. I wouldn't even be your friend, man. I swear to God.
That sounds like a porn star, but not like a
Good
a
one?
successful porn star. Yeah, like a really
Yeah.
bad.
Like the guy that believed you had to be in gay before you could be in straight.
No, it's
It never made it to straight. That's Chaz Heron.
it's from Blades of Glory, Chaz Michaels.
Oh God, yeah, that's
There you go.
perfect.
There
That's
you go.
Yeah. I think it's a fantastic middle name. I'm glad it isn't my first name.
yeah, that's a good middle name.
Yeah. All right.
Savage, what's your middle name?
Patrick.
Okay. Nick, what's your middle name?
It's the middle name,
And what is it?
Nick.
Nick.
You're so gay.
Yeah.
All right. Jeremy, what's your middle name?
None of your business. No, my middle name's Michael.
All right, that's a respectable middle name.
Aaron, what's your middle name?
Michael is respectable, but Patrick isn't.
No,
Patrick is
Patrick is a name that could go like Pat. It could go either way.
Androgynous.
My dad was
So it fits
Patrick
Savage
Michael
well.
Pozderac.
Ah.
So, and my older brother's Nathan Patrick. I'm Patrick Michael, or I'm Jeremy Michael.
I was like, your name's
Yeah,
Patrick?
I'm getting all screwed up. My dad was Patrick Michael. No, it's Nathan Patrick. I'm Jeremy Michael. God,
That was very complicated.
Is this River's Edge Tactical?
I literally...
is Patrick.
I don't have a middle name. I actually legally do not. On my driver's license, it says Shawn Heron, which I think is kind of a win because my mom clearly was not doing well in the name picking. Yeah. She's like, Chaz. No.
were they trying to save it for so when you got married, you could
hyphenate it?
You would take it for your middle name, your maiden name.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's cute.
No, my middle name is Lynch, and it has little quotation marks around it.
Right. Aaron Spencer, what's your middle name?
Yeah, Spencer, you named it. Which is an awful one, too. Like, my mom's like, I wanted to name you Spencer. I'm like, thanks for not.
Yeah.
That would have been horrible.
But can you imagine? We like shooting with Spencer and Chaz.
It's a early morning radio show.
It changes everything.
It sounds like an 80s cop show. Spencer and Chaz.
Every kid I knew growing up that was named Spencer was like the kid who just around constantly and had like horrible ADHD and was always like talking to the teacher, maybe threw a chair at him once or twice, you know. Like that was those were the Spencers I grew up
All
with.
the Spencers that I knew buttoned their top button.
But not the bottom where they cholos.
No. Every Spencer I know is from South Africa, and it's 3 of them.
That's crazy.
Are they brothers?
That is a really weird coincidence.
It is. Did they button their top buttons?
It was only 2 of them until my CCW class yesterday, when one of the guys was a resident alien from South Africa. Name was Spencer.
Jesus.
I was like, what the I have 2 This is weird.
Corey P. But sounds like an F. He's a listener. You do a lot of our voiceover stuff. If you listen to this, do one that's like, we like shooting in the morning with Spencer and Chaz.
And it has to have that laugh at the end. Why don't you just do it,
does.
Shawn?
No, because he's got like the best radio voice ever.
Okay.
It's so wonderful. He actually did the intro for the Long Range podcast. Here, I'll play that real quick to show you. Oh, I don't have it. Never mind.
Dead Bunny Society wants us to do the 80s radio talk show voice for the rest of the show.
I can't.
We can do that.
Yes, we can.
Then you have to play like a sting after every time we say a word.
Oh, okay.
It was great. No, like a rock sting, though.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Bark, bark, bark.
My dogs are going crazy here. It's insane.
Oh,
I don't get a sting. This sucks.
oh, sorry. Hold on. Sorry.
We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
That's great. Anyway,
This is why we need a guest.
Chaz stands for Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. It's the group it's the 6 block area in Seattle that protesters, rioters, Antifa, and ne'er-do-wells have taken over. Oh, and Soy Boy Snowflakes and Soy Girl. I don't know. The Snowflakes have taken over. No, them.
Soy gender fluid individuals.
They took it over. They took over a police station. They've taken over these 6 blocks. They say government and police are not allowed there. And I mean, it's going pretty well for them. Like, who knows, like, what's been going on there? Like, give us the lowdown.
So what I've seen is, and I don't know if any of this is true. They said the homeless people came and ate all their food.
Yeah, they invited homeless people in, and apparently they took all the food. So after like 2 days, they put out a plea asking for food, but not just food. It had to be like vegan, soy-based plants, and stuff like that.
I saw a guy who had a garden going, but it was like just this flooded space with really sad-looking plants.
Well, yeah, what they did is they laid cardboard down on the grass in the park, and then they put a bunch of topsoil over it, and then they basically planted plants.
That's what that was?
Yes.
I was wondering what was sticking up all over the place.
It takes months for plants to grow to get any kind of, vegetables on them. So what the are they going to do in the next 3 months?
They're just going to pick up if they need to move or whatever, it's genius. They can just pick up the cardboard and carry the dirt with the plants away.
I really don't know. So I will say that the Chaz, every time I see a picture of the garden, there's a guy with his hands on his head like this. I'm not even you. Let me see if I can find a couple of them to throw up on the screen, because every single picture that I've seen has a dude nearby with his hands on his head like, what have we done?
These plants, we're killing them.
All right, so here's one of them.
Oh yeah, no, I noticed that in this one too, but I didn't look at any of the others.
Over here on the left, the dude's just like,
it's so sad.
Yeah,
it
that's
looks like he's
one
praying
dinner's worth of food for like 10 people. Right there. That's like 10 people's dinner.
And Savage would know about failed gardens.
I would. I would
true.
totally know. I do know about failed gardens. This is not going to feed.
oh man, I don't see the other one. I guess it's the two that I've been seeing on Facebook a lot. There's just a different dude each time with his hands on his head. It's like, we are dumb.
The guy with the orange gloves is like, why?
But I love how they put like mulch pathway and then bricks on the sides of the path. I mean, it's cute. It's cute.
Yeah, that one actually would look nice in somebody's backyard.
Yeah. No, it's in the middle of a Seattle park.
But like for feeding like one person or maybe
Literally.
two.
Yeah.
Maybe for a week.
Yeah, that's like I'm going to make a nice dinner at the end of the summer with all the stuff from my garden.
So the first thing that they did up is they put up a bunch of walls around it. Mm-hmm. Which,
very, very meager barricades. Let's just put it that way. Like those little road barricades that are shaped like the concrete road dividers, except they're plastic. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Strategic.
And there's like some orange cones. It's really like
well, those orange dividers are full of water. So if you hit one, it's gonna stop you.
They've been playing a lot of Age of Empires, so they know you have to start with barriers, but you can upgrade them later. So once they have enough stone, they'll be able to make those better.
I saw that a priest came in and he was all
that for a long time was my ringtone on my phone. I kind of miss
awesome. It. Okay, so they put up a wall, and what else did they do? Oh, they're stopping people as soon as they walk in to stop and frisk them to make sure they don't have weapons.
That's only
stop and frisk is racist.
Certain few places at a certain few times. They're not really stopping hardly anybody coming in there.
So but stop and frisk is racist. And you said it's only at a certain time, at a certain place. Is it only a certain type of people?
No, I'm just saying.
Are you sure?
The frequency is low. The frequency is low.
It's actually called the Terry frisk after the New York court. Last name Terry. It was basically that they can kind of touch the outsides of your pockets to make sure you don't have any weapons or anything like that.
Oh, that's like the lame.
I'm
going to
use the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Like they can't reach in your pockets or anything.
Right
like
there.
That.
They can't like fondle you.
So there was a leader that was there, and after 2 days, apparently had been accused of sexually abusing multiple people. And this was a transgender. It was a dude who was trans to a girl, but she was a lesbian. Anyway, she came out and said, "I'm an abuser and I'm going to kill myself." So that was after 2 days.
Hey,
Who is this? I gotta read about this.
Wait a minute.
Laura Coach or something.
Okay,
And she did kill herself.
What?
they're doing something very right here.
Right?
Not like this person did bad things and then took care of themselves. Like,
Yeah, like I'm all for that. If
Yeah.
you're serial abusing, if you beat your wife, or if you're a bad person,
Oh, God,
kill
those
yourself.
eyebrows.
I'm all for it.
yeah, no, that they're getting results.
Yeah, so it said, let's see.
They're cleaning up the streets.
This, like people say, you're not an abuser, but considering literally every partner and most of my friends I've ever had has said I've been abusive, I'm pretty sure I'm an abuser.
Oh my God.
And then
It's like the end of Falling Down. She's this person is like, wait, I'm the bad guy?
yeah, so I'm a serial abuser, and I don't really believe anyone can get better from a situation like that. I'm going to peacefully end my life so I won't hurt anyone else. I think that's actually kind of sad, honestly. Like, I mean,
That is awful.
way to have like
I'm glad you're gone. Next.
self-recognition, but okay. So anyway, that happened, and then like a
Then there
couple
was
days.
Is there like
the
one
SoundCloud
last
rapper?
virtue signal before you blow your brains out? Like, go yourself.
I think maybe she just overdosed on soy or something.
Like, oh, I'm such a bad person. I'm like, what do you got? Virtue signal your own suicide? Get the out of here. I'm glad you're dead.
Yes.
So then, a couple days later, like Nick just said, SoundCloud rapper Raz the Warlord, he hopped on and he became like the warlord of whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like the warlord of the Chaz.
Basically my hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thing that happened. And he's basically been taken over. He and his, I'll call them enforcers or whatever, beat up some guy who was like spray painting or tagging a wall. Oh, Terry versus Ohio. He was spray painting graffiti on a wall, and they told him to stop and not paint over the previous graffiti that was already there, and so they beat his ass.
Good.
And then I think they realized that they made a mistake, so they took his phone so that he couldn't tell on them until they gaslighted him into believing that what he did was wrong and they were right.
What's the guy's name again?
Raz the Enforcer.
Raz. That's right.
Raz Simone or something like that. And
So Raz runs Chaz,
apparently, yes.
but
And
who runs Bartertown?
he's got like what do you call it?
Master Blaster.
Like 4 or 5 Seattle Airbnbs too, and he's like a super host with Airbnb.
Nice.
So yeah, this is your warlord.
He always leaves like the little bottle of Chardonnay and the 2 glasses for you.
Yeah,
He's very thoughtful.
he is.
He's got the doilies.
He is.
Those
now-
are more for him than us. So.
Is he still running around, or did he get arrested or something? I thought I'd read that he got picked up.
I didn't see that if it happened. I don't really pay a whole lot of attention because A, Seattle is one of the biggest holes I've ever been to, and B, I don't really care what they do. But I saw that Asheville, Tennessee, North Carolina, Tennessee, a place in Tennessee, and another place had tried to create their own autonomous zones, and they got their shut down Ricky Tick. Cops weren't having it. As soon as it got put up, they tore it down.
Well, yeah, but the only reason this place is still going on is because the mayor of Seattle and the governor are for it.
Yeah.
They have the same ideology.
Yeah, the mayor was on television saying, "Oh, we're gonna it's a very peaceful thing. We're gonna have a summer
It's
of
like
love."
a block party.
Yeah, whereas the chief of police there is saying, "No, there's been rapes every day. Our 911 has went from 5-minute response time to 18 or 19 minute response time on average." There was literally a dumpster fire in there, and they called the fire department. And the fire department had to come in and put out the dumpster fire for them. Dan Crenshaw, was he a congressperson? Mm-hmm. He actually posted a thing and said, if you're creating an autonomous zone on sovereign soil, like, you don't get to ask the well put together capitalist society for help. Like, you're on your own.
Yeah. That would be like the founding fathers being like, we're independent now, but hey, England, can you maybe help us out?
Cheese?
Yeah, we could use a little food over here, guys.
So what do you suppose?
This is harder than I thought.
What do you suppose the whole purpose of this is? Like, what is the purpose of this?
It's idiotic college commies thinking that they're starting a revolution.
Right. It originally started out to be some kind of BLM protest, and then it turned into, hey, we can start our own society. And then they realized that, oh, we suck at our own society, but we committed to this shit, so we're just going to stay here because none of us have jobs because it got eliminated by COVID, because we made everybody stay home because they didn't have to, and now this is where we're at.
You guys want to just like hang out in the park in our tents and smoke weed and play guitar?
No.
Yeah. Oh, and we're getting paid for being unemployed because
I just don't like. I don't understand. Do they actually think, or is it just they're trying to make a statement? Like, do they actually think that they're going to be able to keep this section of Seattle, which I think includes their city hall, right?
I don't know. I know
they took over City Hall later when the mayor gave it to them.
Like, I would be shocked if any of them think this is going to last forever. But I think Jeremy's right. I think it's a bunch of idealistic people that are really excited and think that they're actually doing something for once. And like Savage said, a lot of them have a lot of time on their hands because of the way things have been going the last few months.
Well, and this whole thing is really being pushed by this Seattle city council member, Kashama Sawant, who is like the biggest socialist in the state of Washington and just like the wall socialism, everything she does. However, she's married to a Microsoft software developer and has a near $1 million condo complex and just is benefiting massively from capitalism. Yet she's expecting everybody in this group here to be total socialists and live off of people's charity.
Yeah. It's like she can afford to be a socialist because she has money.
Right.
Totally. Absolutely.
There's that line from that Don Henley song, the other day, or what is it? Out on the road today, I saw a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. What is it? Boys of Summer? Right?
I don't know.
But it's basically that same, like, all these hippies grow up and get, like, good paying university jobs and stuff, and then drive Cadillacs and like have good money, and they can afford to be that way.
That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like a crazy. I don't know what the point is. Maybe they're just trying to make a point, whatever. But they're really this up. We're seeing what they're calling like a speed run through through all the phases of what this is. And
can we do speed runs through the Chaz? I mean, like, we can't.
Naruto
because we're fat and slow.
Yeah.
But, like, people should just try to, like, sprint through as fast as they can. And, like,
I mean, it's only 6 blocks, right?
Yeah. It's not even really 6 blocks. There's just, like, alleys that extend that far. It's really kind of like 2 to 3.
And most of it's a park.
Random side streets. And I mean, it's like, it's pretty pathetic.
I was looking at maps of Michigan, in locations, and I found, like, the Federal Reserve in Michigan, or the banks in Michigan, would make a great Chaz point for us.
Yeah,
because there's the Federal Reserve here in Michigan, in Detroit, so that might be a good stopping point.
I vote that we go to the Bob Marshall Wilderness area in Montana and create an autonomous zone there.
Okay,
because no one will even know that it's happening.
But yeah, we had that conversation though. Yeah. But they would, because they tried that in the 90s and they got their shut down.
I mean,
immediately.
Not like that though. They didn't go to a wilderness area. Do you know how big that area is?
Well, I mean, they tried it in Texas, right? In Waco.
You're not even allowed to have like powered saws or anything there. So like, I feel like your odds of getting away with it for a little while anyway are pretty good in an area like that.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Like, eventually someone would find you, and then that would, kind of be the end of it. But
kind of like the Bundys. They didn't work.
Branch Davidians.
Okay, but all of those people were, like, very public and loud. And if
they were only public and loud once they got the police showed up.
But I mean, like, they were living in towns or near towns. The Bundys were really loud. If just like 50 people.
Well, the Bundys didn't try to be autonomous. The Bundys were just like, you don't have the authority to do what you're doing. F*** off.
Well, yeah, I guess they weren't trying to be autonomous when they took over that government building that no one cared about.
I don't know. I had a friend who worked there. She was not happy about it.
Was she not?
Yeah. She's like, I can't go to work.
There's
a bunch of people living in our buildings.
Where was this?
It was it Montana or was that it was
no,
out?
It wasn't Montana. Was it Alaska or Oregon?
No, it's Oregon. And they
in Oregon.
And they took over we call them like DNR, but it wasn't DNR. It was like
BLM.
Yeah, it was Fish and Wildlife or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the Bundy. They took over like a basically vacant Fish and Wildlife.
Well, apparently not vacant because Aaron's friend worked there.
Yeah, but apparently
nobody cared.
Yeah.
Except them and the FBI, apparently.
So, I mean, this is pretty much a failure, right? They're kind of a laughingstock. Oh, they had some enforcers show up that were fully kitted out, wearing guns and whatnot, and one of them left his gun and kit at somebody's apartment, and it all got stolen. And so he posted online, I lost all my shit, I've got to GoFundMe to replace it all.
And I'm like, call the cops.
Yeah, he did call the cops. That's good. Because now there's an AR-15 running around out there. Where's Shooter Rugi? The guy who took the AR-15 from the dude in the street with his pistol.
Yeah.
That was
guy's
crazy,
awesome.
man.
Yeah, he seems pretty cool.
I don't know. What if that was you holding that AR-15 and some guy put a gun in your face?
Here. And then
like if you're standing there in the street with an AR and some dude is able to just walk up and put a pistol in your face, like you deserve to be disarmed.
Yeah, and then a 1 second draw, shoot him in the face. I'm kidding.
To me, it was like I didn't like it because it was like that guy has a right to have that gun. What gives that guy a right to take it away?
He watched him steal it out of the back of a burning police cruiser.
Yeah. He had taken it from a
I didn't
police
see
car.
that part. I just saw him walk up and take the gun. I was like, holy.
Yeah. No, it was.
No, it wasn't like the guy showed up with his AR that he had purchased or acquired legally.
So anyway, I was thinking if WLS was going to create an autonomous zone in Minecraft, let's lay about how we might do that.
Well, it would be really difficult to plan ahead of time, I think, because Minecraft is procedurally generated.
No.
So, like, every time the world is different.
Well, okay, that's fair. I mean, sure.
So we'd have to go, like, scout it out. I guess you can, like, type in a code or whatever, and it'll generate it.
Yeah, but, I mean, let's say that it's the real world and changes and happens. Where would we go first of all?
You said in Minecraft.
No, not actually in Minecraft. Well,
okay. The best part to go would be a decrepit city, which doesn't have a lot of law enforcement and
so
a lot
Seattle.
of people who are in need. Or I was going to say Detroit.
Or
I think
Detroit.
There's a lot of ghost towns in every state. I mean, you could just pick one.
So I'll tell you this, like, what do you guys think? Do you think that if, like, a bunch of dudes wearing boog shirts and plate carriers and AR-15s try to do this, do you think that it would be seen with the same kind of lackadaisical milquetoast response?
No, the news would be out there going, these white supremacists have taken over. These are far right supremacists.
I don't know. That's kind of a loaded question, Shawn.
No, it's not. I know exactly. That's exactly what would happen, and we all know it, and you can't say otherwise.
I agree with Jeremy, but
it's not just that. Like, politics aside, a bunch of armed people taking a neighborhood is one thing. A bunch of dirty hippies taking a neighborhood.
Yeah, but there's armed people walking around with rifles.
Okay, there are, but there are like a handful of them. If if there are 100 people in the Chaz, it's probably like 10% of them that are armed.
Oh, and the businesses are going out of business, by the way. Trader Joe's had to shut down.
Of course.
Indefinitely.
Yeah, that's fine. It's Trader Joe's. They're a chain. They're doing fine here in my neighborhood.
Where am I going to get my $4 $2 chuck?
Like, honestly, if I was one of the politicians in Seattle, somebody in charge there, I would probably just be like, all right, well, I have bigger to deal with right now, so I'm just kind of going to let them like starve themselves and leave or whatever. If this is still
they
going on,
honestly don't have anything better going on.
Yeah, like in Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh, I assumed they had like the same that a lot of big cities have with riots and whatnot.
So I mean, okay, we're talking like we're going to try to figure out a location in Minecraft. If we were going to set up an autonomous zone, and again, we're not. This is just like This is just a mental exercise. But, like, would we try to go somewhere with resources? Would we try to do it in the middle of a city to make a statement like the autonomous zone in Seattle? Or do we go
rural area would be better right next to a major source of fresh water? That would definitely be a good plan.
I vote like a nice beach somewhere. It could be a lake, it could be ocean, whatever. But in like a moderate climate, not too hot, not too cold.
So you just want a vacation?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
An armed vacation.
Isn't that basically what we're doing? We're talking about camping, right?
Vacation.
Yeah. All right. So So we would go
one of those 10,000 acre ranches in Wyoming. Like that'd be perfect.
That would be not too shabby, but pretty indefensible. I guess you could see him coming from a pretty long way. But
yeah,
all right.
Northwestern Wyoming.
So already we're way out here. Let's say that we took over the same space that they took over, and this is a place that we want to hold as conscientious objectors to society and capitalism.
Well, if we're conscientious objectors, we can't hold anything.
No, but let's say
Except like hands, I guess. We can hold hands.
Look, if they can take it over, we can talk about the right way to do it, right? So we take over the 6 blocks. Do we put up barriers and walls, and if so, what kind?
I'd use cars, man. Cars are going to be way better than the barriers that they have set up. Cars, dumpsters, anything that can be set alight. All
right. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, say that again.
For setting up like the barriers around the 6 blocks, Savage says cars and dumpsters and whatnot. I think that's pretty clever, actually.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to find what you got to find, you're going to flip over a semi-trailer or
dumpsters,
dumpsters, cars, concrete barriers, not plastic ones.
Yeah.
You go steal a truck, you go to a tire shop, you steal all the tires you can, you pile them up, douse them in diesel or gasoline, and get them ready to burn if you need to.
Okay.
Yeah, remember that movie Volcano where they knock a building down?
Yeah, I'd probably not chip up the roads to make it so you can't drive around on them.
So in Hong Kong, they actually glued bricks to all the roads.
That was very clever.
Yeah, haphazardly, which I thought was pretty great.
What kind of glue did they use?
Like, it's quick, it's easy,
and whatnot,
and it's difficult.
Yeah, so I mean, just like whatever, you're gonna have to take a hammer to knock it off, and I
think buses would be good.
And apparently, they're just dropping bricks off everywhere, so that's probably a really good idea. Buses, public buses.
Because like buses, you could use A to build barriers, and B, if you want to have a gate that opens and closes, just move the bus back and forth.
And then probably another good idea would be to string wires in between the buildings, so that way if they decide to come in from a helicopter, they get strung up.
All right.
What kind of wire?
Just like as much wire as you can find, like metal wire?
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like 15 gauge wire is not really going to mess up a helicopter, I don't think.
And guys, the only reason that
rotors, I mean,
oh, dude, it totally ruin a helicopter.
At the very least, it's a deterrent.
So shooting out of a helicopter, you have to anchor your mags to you with a rope or a bungee or something, because if they fly up into the rotor, it goes down. So yeah, like if you go to drop a mag and somehow it gets sucked up into the wash or whatever, like choppers going down. So you literally have to tether them to yourself.
Did you know that if child actors get hit by the rotor on a helicopter, it goes down?
I think Fish has a great idea. Glue buses to the street.
Yes. What movie was that?
I don't know.
They were filming the movie, and the helicopter hit a couple of kids and crashed.
Oh, that was Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone, yeah.
Oh my God!
What? They were filming it in a cave, and the helicopter was going up, and it hits the top of the cave, and it came down and chopped everyone's heads off.
Oh no, that's terrible.
To be clear here, we're only talking about this because apparently, this is totally fine in our society now, and I just thought, hey, maybe we should be good at it. We're going to take a brief moment and hear from Bowers Group. And what does Bowers Group make, Nick?
Suppressors.
And Aaron, what Bowers Group can do you have?
I have the Verse T.
Verse 30T.
Yeah, the Verse 30T and the Biddy.
When was the last time you shot?
Oh, I'm excited because I have chickens now, so I'm expecting varmints to start showing up any day now.
Oh man, you need night vision.
God, varmints.
I do have night vision, just not. I don't have night vision for my gun. I just have standard a monocle night vision.
Oh, that's cool. Can you mount that to in front of your optic or anything?
I can't. It's a Gen 3. It's not very good.
Can you literally just duct tape it to your receiver in behind the optic?
I could probably no. And the worst thing about it too is like you have it on, and then if you go to look at through your scope, you're night blind because you just have that bright light in your face.
Night blindness.
That sucks.
I'm not really pleased with it, but it is what it is. It's been in the back of my car for like a year now because I just don't use it.
Perfect
Aaron,
review.
Aaron, in some places you can get a medical marijuana card for night blindness.
Oh, that's great.
That might help you.
Really? How the does that help with night blindness?
He won't be driving around if you're all high.
I think it makes your pupils dilate, which would make
Not if you ever listen to stoners, man, they drive better.
Wait a minute. This is the Bowers Group ad read.
Also, not true, Jeremy. We live in Colorado. They're horrible.
I literally just was sitting here. I was like, what the f*** are we talking about? Oh, yeah. Dude, I fucking blacked out for a second.
Sorry, Tom.
But yeah, Bowers Group. So you have the Verse 30T and the Biddy. I actually just found out today. I'll save it for later in the show, but I'm going to be putting something into my 1022, and I'm going to put the Biddy on that, and it's going to shoot real fast. And we're going to compare it to the machine gun. It's just, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to run the machine gun through the Biddy. It's going to be freaking amazing. But yeah,
I really do need to get a threaded barrel for my 1022.
Oh, you do, man. So the primary weapons, the carbon fiber one that I have is nice, and then I've got the other one that was like $120 or something on Brownells. But yeah, really good stuff. And so Bowers Group makes cans, and they make great cans, and we've shot a ton of them. We asked Mr. Guns and Gear what his favorite can was, just in general, and he said the 458 Dreadnought. And I got to kind of, he was when he was on Double Tap, and he's like, it's just like literally, I mean, everything up to 460 Rowland, everything below it, it's strong, titanium baffles, freaking price is right, no FPS ratings, looks cool because he put the little angles on it.
Yeah, he did, and it looks good.
Yeah. And basically, 416 Rigby it'll take up to that. And again, it was made for everything, and it works on everything. So it's awesome. BowersGroup.com. Coupon code WLS saves you money. What?
Oh, I was just going to start talking about the next segment. So go ahead.
All right. So in Minecraft, apparently since autonomous zones are something that people can do in America now, so we would find one, we would glue bricks, use buses, cars, tires, everything to surround the area, glue buses to the streets. We would put wires up so helos could not approach.
Old Jello would be great. Or any building that was built in the late 60s, early 70s, because the first floor windows are like this thin, which is about 6 inches apart. You'll notice a lot of buildings have 6 inch apart windows on the first floor. They can have a ton of them. They go up to usually the third floor if it's a larger building. It makes it what's known as siege proof, so no one can go through the windows and break through the windows.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so they did that in the 60s and 70s during the riots and all the counter culture protests that were going on. It's really something, it would really help defend. Prisons and jails usually have, or jails, in the cities will have those kinds of windows, if not smaller. But yeah, that would be a good building to fortify and defend.
All right. So, but that's one building, right? We're trying to take over 6 whole blocks. So that's how we defend the barrier. Somewhere. That's how we defend the barrier. So yeah, I guess have a HQ with that is siege proof for the overlords of. The warlords.
And you got to have Overwatch, so you're going to need somebody up high.
Well, and that's where I want to go right now. Is I want to talk about actual human resources, who do we recruit, and what jobs are very, very important. So we'll start with jobs. What are the jobs that absolutely have to be put into place to fortify and secure the 6-block radius autonomous zone?
What I have learned from Call of Duty is that we absolutely have to have at least 200 people on rooftops with RPGs.
Trebuchet makers.
Okay, no, that's for the actual Capitol Hill autonomous zone.
I mean, it's hard to secure any area that has porous borders. That's the biggest issue you're having.
It is, but
each building is a way.
Well, the problem is you can shut down the streets very easily. Then the next thing you need to do is look at the sewer, because if there's sewers that you can walk through, now you got roads underneath of you. So you're gonna have to find every manhole cover and every sewer entrance and park a car on top of that manhole cover, which is also good as a means of egress. If they didn't think about it and you did,
yep.
If you have an easy way to get into the sewer to get the out of Dodge, you can block all the streets off except for maybe checkpoints, and then you can use the sewers as a means of egress.
Yeah, I think that's great. So we would have to find all the sewer covers and park cars on top of them.
All the sewer covers, and then you would, I mean, theoretically, what you could do is go into the sewers and blockade those as well, or at least put like gates or some sort of contraption.
What are manhole covers made out of? Like
steel?
But could you
iron?
Is it weldable? Like easily weldable?
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah, it's ferrous. I mean, you could weld it.
Could you run around and lay down like some thick welds on a bunch
Oh yeah,
of,
you could stick weld it to the rim.
Yeah, and then have like 2 or 3 that you strategically leave alone and throw something on top of.
Sure.
Just in case.
You'd have to watch like storm drains if there's like because security reasons. This is a city street. If there's storm drains like it coming up. What the hell was that guy's name? Pennywise.
Yeah.
Pennywise.
Yeah, like Pennywise coming up. If I'm gonna infiltrate that, and you never thought about that, I could sit there with a suppressed 22 and go pop pop, and then just move on down the way. Nobody'd even know what happened.
And they will all float down there.
So then I think we covered that. Then you mentioned Overwatch. I think we're going to need to have like a lot of people running Overwatch to secure.
Our enemy has helicopters.
But if you're inside a building, deep inside, so you're not shooting like with your guns hanging out of the window, that's going to be hard for them to spot.
You need to be on a rooftop to watch for helicopters landing on other rooftops to infiltrate men.
Well,
so within view at that point.
Yeah, I think you have like 4 or 5 of the bigger buildings around, and you're near the top floor-ish, so you can see the other buildings, and your Overwatch in other buildings can see you, and therefore you can kind of see if anyone's coming in for aerial assault, right?
The obvious answer there is you pick a couple of the tallest buildings in the area, you get some children, you give them radios, and you throw them up there because nobody's going to, come in and shoot kids. But
that's what the Taliban did.
Yeah, they can give you a heads up.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Also, probably a good idea to try and maybe choose a neighborhood that has like a Walmart or a hardware store or something.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Especially like a hardware store or like a Harbor Freight or something where you can go in and steal things like generators.
No, not stealing.
Air compressors, tools. Appropriate.
It's an autonomous zone, so everything belongs to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily like the means of production belong to the state, right? Like
That's
there's
right.
still personal and private property.
Well,
Not to the communists.
you're redistributing from those who have many, like a large corporation, or those who have many, those who have very much, to those who have few, like the government in your autonomous zone.
Yeah, I mean they took over the police station and apparently City Hall and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So
like that guy's laptop,
Yeah, exactly.
We need those generators more than the Home Depot does.
So yeah, someone left his laptop and stuff in his tent, and someone came and stole it, and he posted on Reddit about it, and he was so upset. And the comments were like, well, honestly, like you just made an unexpected donation, and you should feel really good about that. Okay. All right. So yeah, you've got your Overwatch or your warning system. What about like enforcement throughout, right? Like you don't want it to degrade into just like martial
like a police
law.
state.
You have to have patrols.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you want people walking around raping and stealing and murdering and all?
Well, if this is our zone, then don't we get to pick who's in it?
Yeah, absolutely. So what do? You
have to secure some kind of food source. Food and water source is going to be pretty important.
So for people to get to procure stuff, I just want Marines because they're good at stealing from other people.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Departments of the military. So yeah.
No, that's actually good. Other branches.
It's not stealing; it's tactically acquiring.
Yep.
And they're great at it. And I like at work the other day, I took a fan from one area and brought it to the area I was in for my people there, and the people that I took the fan from got really upset. And I'm like, I didn't steal it; it's still in the building. You just don't have it anymore.
That's cool. But yeah, like so, we definitely want to take over a place that has like a Walmart or something for food and water, and then what? And then what do we like repopulate the earth?
Oh,
Yes.
totally. So we need a place with a brothel.
Lots of
Yeah. What
Looks
else?
like we're going to Vegas.
What else is important here? So we've got the security down. Hopefully, food and water by means of
It's food, water, shelter, and then being able to keep it. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the order. Well, water, food, shelter.
actually creating some kind of garden center. That's going to. You can probably knock out all the
if I got a high rise, that's a vertical garden.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Or we could go to a city park. We could throw some cardboard down. We could put some topsoil on top of that. Shove some plants in the topsoil.
That's so dumb.
And then Shawn could walk around with his hands on his head.
Yeah. No. Then I guess you got to worry about all the people who are there with you, right? Like you got to worry about food and water and stuff like that. So you got to worry about making sure that you have people to acquire food, people to prepare food.
Are we talking about like us as the commies, or how would we do it?
How would we do it?
I would say if we did that, I'd be like, I'm going to have my garden. You're going to have your garden. You're going to have your garden. This is not the communist. You want a bigger garden, go find a place to put a bigger garden in.
Economy there, so you have people that are dedicated to growing and then other people that trade for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The problem there, Jerambe, is
I can't grow dude.
Like, you protect your house, and I'll protect my house over there, your house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
I mean,
but if it benefits me, that the neighborhood is secure,
right?
Then it's not your house. I'll protect my house. It's keep the neighborhood safe because it benefits me to have a safer neighborhood and not just have to defend my house.
Which is exactly why, in very small groups like you would be talking about here, a sort of socialist arrangement works out really well.
But it wouldn't work because you would need a leader to dictate what happens.
Okay.
It's still capitalist. It's just anarcho-capitalism.
Hey, look, someone just said FBI watch list. Dude, this is allowed. This is going on in our country right now. Like, perfectly fine. We're just trying to improve their capabilities.
You know,
yeah.
To help these guys out.
So we need to figure out a way to keep the people that we don't want in there out. We have to put protections in place like that. We have to implement personal accountability for a lot of things, right? People have to be working. There's no freeloading going on. People need to do their part or get the out.
Sounds like communism, but go on.
That's why it wouldn't work, because some people are not going to pull their weight,
right?
And you need to get rid of them.
Yeah, they're gone.
That's basically succeed. The problem,
the USSR.
The reason that the Chaz is going to fail is because it's only going to be ever located in a 6-block area. The only way you succeed is you take over the rest of the city.
Yep.
But here's the thing: cities can't be autonomous. Cities have always needed the rural part of the country to feed them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No city can be autonomous.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. All right, so put up a wall, basically implement some group of leaders or enforcement of the rules, come up with the rules, figure out what that is, have individuals be responsible for individuals, but people can work together for, the greater good. But it's not required by any means. And then what about people who are just not following the rules and they're being bags and you're just like, get the out of here? Like, what is the process there? Do you have like a group of people who make decisions and then they just kick their asses out when they're not being part of the community?
Obviously, you have some sort of group of elders or whatever.
Or cult leaders.
Yeah, you have chiefs or cult leaders.
And then they have their enforcers.
Right, they have their brown shirts.
The rules.
Maybe not brown shirts because that's not a good. But they have their thugs. And
not even thugs, just like the people. Look, because the elders can't be responsible for like the day-to-day of everything.
Well,
right?
yeah, because you're too old.
Should we call them the fingermen?
The fingermen.
The thicker fingermen.
Yeah, if you get they're coming after you.
And so
I would name mine guys the G Estapos.
But yeah, so you build a wall, you stop bad people, the people you don't want from coming in, you put rules in place, you have a governing body that kind of makes the rules, and then people to enforce the rules, and then you just basically let people do whatever the they want as long as they're not hurting anyone else or stopping them from pursuing life, liberty, or the pursuit of happiness. And when people commit crimes, they go before the board, and the board decides what their fate is, whether they're allowed back in the autonomous zone or not allowed in the autonomous zone. And I mean, basically, they're just you create a society kind of exactly like we have, just without any of the corruption.
Except there would totally be corruption.
Yeah, like FYI, if we ever do this, literally pay us.
Literally the most corrupt.
Yeah, Aaron literally day one would be like, I'm an abuser.
Except
I would literally change how punishment is done in in when crimes are committed. Like it would be like if you ended up like hurting somebody, like that person, like if you're a rapist, that person's family gets like 10 minutes alone in a room with you, chained to a table.
And they're going to rape you? What?
Well, they can do whatever the hell they want. Doesn't matter. They get 10 minutes alone, and if you're dead when they leave, done. So fine.
Maybe it should be in a closet, and call it 5 minutes in heaven.
The problem is that
Y'all are going the long way around just to end up with Jerambe as Judge Dredd.
on a small scale, things like people doing whatever the f- they want as long as they don't hurt anybody doesn't really work out very well. I mean, like if Savage decides that he's gonna make a bunch of hydroponic gardens or whatever, like, well, his whole family is f***ed and everybody else around him. So, like, maybe let's put somebody like Aaron who actually can do things like that in charge of growing food. And, like, Savage is pretty good with electronics, so let's see about, like, Savage making sure we have power and comms and things like that. And Jerambe is really violent and aggressive, so maybe let's put him in charge of security and enforcement.
Well, no, Jerambe would be great with loaders and stuff. He could drive those around.
That's true.
Yeah.
And weld the manhole covers on and things like that. Anyway,
but you would need like some sort of organization, and you would need like people assigned to various jobs and roles and stuff.
Me and my G Estapos.
You wouldn't be able to succeed by letting everyone do whatever the f- they wanted. If you have a small, you would have to treat it like a military unit or something. Like there would have to be discipline.
There has to be discipline, but also you let people, like the people who are there, like they get the reward of basically doing what the f- they want as long as it doesn't infringe on other people.
Yeah. Yeah, I told my wife we need to start an autonomous zone.
Oh,
in our house.
It would be uber libertarian.
Yeah.
Like, you want machine guns, have machine guns. There is no law broken until you damage or take somebody else's property or life.
Yeah.
Like if you inflict your will on somebody else through violence, like
then we're going to inflict our will on you with violence.
Yeah.
Aaron, what were you saying? You said you need to set up one?
Yeah, I told my wife we should set up, and she was all for it. She's like, we should set up an autonomous zone here. And she was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Secede from the U.S. We're now our own country. We don't have to pay taxes. And
it sounds like an episode of Family Guy.
It could be, but I'm just saying, just our property is now its own country, and no rules or rights are invoked by the United States within the confines of my borders.
I mean, also, we've basically been describing our Facebook group.
Kind of.
Yeah, no, it pretty much is. We just need to get rid of faster.
Also, like, nothing would get accomplished because the five of us would sit around and argue about what needed to get done, how to do it,
No,
who should do it.
I don't think so. As long as everyone else does the work, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, wait a minute.
You'd get kicked out on your ass, Shawn.
I would definitely help organize and lead stuff. I would manage Aaron.
What?
Yeah.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Okay, well, anyway, again, we're just like, since this is a thing that you can do in our country now and it's totally fine in Seattle, we just wanted to put some ideas out there and maybe talk about it a little bit and how it could be done a little bit better. But, I mean, they got the warlords, so they're on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also a super host with Airbnb.
Nick Cage is going to show up and sell him a couple trucks full of AKs and hand grenades.
Nick Cage is going to show up and he's going to spend like $2 million on a pyramid tombstone.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In a cemetery in New Orleans.
Nick Cage is going to show up and be like, yes, I would like to buy that T-Rex skull from you.
I've actually been there and touched his mausoleum.
Yes. Wow.
He has a mausoleum. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's a pyramid in New Orleans.
That's like the lamest
hilarious.
thing. So you went out of your way.
I was at the cemetery anyway.
Were you? Or did you go out of your way for that?
No, I had no idea that it was a thing until I was actually there.
I don't believe you.
Well,
Also, you just bragged about it, so, like, I especially don't believe you now.
excuse me. Here, I'm going to show you right now. Share screen. This is Nick Cage's 9-foot-tall pyramid mausoleum. And
Is he dead?
No.
And it cost $2 million?
A lot. People keep
why?
stealing the name off of it and stuff. Omnia Abuno.
What does that even mean? I'm confused.
I don't even know. Oh, people keep like breaking
up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
vandalizing it.
Why?
I don't know. Actually, because it's kind of an eyesore in this like crazy old New Orleans cemetery, and then suddenly there's this big white pyramid. Yeah, pretty nuts.
Oh, that's so racist. Why didn't you make it a black pyramid? Huh?
I don't know. All right. Okay, I guess that'll do it for that section, and let's move on in the show. And that's what happens when we don't have guests show up. We talk about, autonomous zones and how we could set up a better one. Except
I think ours would succeed a lot better.
It would.
Call it WLS Topia.
Because we'd be going in organized. They just went in like, oh, I guess we're not going to leave.
Well, that's the beauty is that you don't have to try to organize society. Society will organize itself if you allow it to. That is the big difference between central planning and, like a market concept.
But it won't, because like clearly they're there and it's a fucking disaster. Like, do you think it's going to get better?
And that's because they're trying to plan it. They're trying to, you do this. It's not going to happen.
Well, you got to plan it at some point.
If you take care of you and everybody else takes care of themselves, then you will come together to take care of everything.
Yeah, the problem here is that, okay, first of all, there's no fucking food there. They have no food. They took over an area with no access to food, no way to get food.
Oh, I mean, no, what they did is fucking stupid. I'm saying, our autonomous zone wouldn't be 6 blocks in downtown Seattle. It'd be my house, my neighbor's house, the other neighbor's house, the other, like my street, like this entire 2 mile by 2 mile by 2 mile block that I live on. Yeah, 40 of us can make a hell of a go at it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you have the trade between each person with like their skills and things that they're good at.
Oh, you got cows, you got chickens. Hey, I'll trade you some eggs for some milk,
or just some work. Like I'll like dig a trench for you, or plant a garden, or whatever work you need. If you give me the things that I need, and
right,
yeah. But so the thing that we would have to watch out for is like we don't ever want to like tax it, because then the elders are like, well, how do we do our like whatever. So then we're like, okay, well, if you do that work for him and he gives you 12 eggs, then someone needs to give us 2 eggs.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't either.
I'd be like, this job here is a public service. I'm going to have a normal job. I'm also going to do this as like an extracurricular kind of thing. And when I don't want to do it anymore, I don't have to. Nobody's making me do it.
Exactly.
But if you would like to step up and help make decisions, you can run for office. But you're not getting paid extra. Like all the congressmen, how many days a year do those work?
Not many.
Then why don't they have actual jobs, and they shouldn't be getting paid for this? It should be a public service.
Exactly. People, if you want to help with the leadership of the community, then you may do so. If people, you think a vote, is that the right way to do it?
Yes, but I think a vote's the right way to do it. But I would do, well, we've already talked about this, like for America anyways, like the way we have it set up, I don't think it should be an inalienable right for every person that lives here. I think you should either A, have to pay federal income tax, or B, not have been on welfare in the last 4 years.
I don't really have a problem with like people getting paid for like National Guard, right? Like if you get deployed, you get paid. But you're not going to get rich off of it, right? But you'll get a living wage. You'll be able to eat and pay your rent and whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like if congressmen were paid for the days where they actually like showed up and voted and argued and did.
Yeah, but not
I'd be all right with
what
that.
they get paid.
Well, yeah, obviously not as much as they get paid.
Like state senators.
And then paid for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. No, all that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it would be a public service that you would do to provide to the community that gives you the freedom that you have. And you would have to have another job, and you would have to do other things just like everybody else. Like your service to the community doesn't become your job and you don't get paid for it. It's something you do extra for the good.
And at that point, you're just a leech.
Exactly. All right, cool.
Now I wouldn't say the National Guard or military or anything like that set up would consist of that. It's completely, I say that's different.
Yeah, we would have our autonomous zone guard, and you sign up for that, and you get like extra perks or whatever.
But I mean, like, to use your egg example, if I am some sort of civil servant and I have to go for a day and do civil servant-y things. Like, that's a day that I can't be working on whatever product I have to trade for eggs to feed my family. So, like, I don't think it's that big of a deal for people to be paid for that day.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I guess. I mean,
I never said all taxes were bad. All taxes are theft, sure, but at one point it's got to be. At some point, it has to be like, oh, it makes sense to have a gate guard, gate guard, a sentry order, if you will, men at arms, if you will, and they can't farm because they're men at arms. Well, so we, realizing that we need them for our own security, willingly give 5% of our eggs, and when we slaughter a cow, a couple of steaks or a couple of quarts of milk every morning, whatever, what have you.
And if your chickens get slaughtered in the middle of the night and you can no longer provide those eggs, what's your recourse?
What's that?
So if you're providing eggs for, we'll say
then the sentries go hungry because they should have done a better job of protecting those chickens.
So
it incentivizes them to do a better job to begin with.
All right. That's fair. And no welfare in our community, right?
No.
Aaron?
No forced welfare. If you want to help a friend, go for it.
Yeah.
Government's not your fucking daddy.
That's fair.
So we form a church.
No. I have 3 jobs.
I call dibs on Pope.
Yeah, I mean, you could be a pope of your own church. I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be Pope Benedict. No, Benedict.
Benedict.
Pope Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Cumberbund.
Mickey B says, why not have everyone take turns on duty? It depends, right? Because then you're going to end up with people who may not be the best person for that job doing it. But then again, I get the concept behind it too.
Specialization.
We haven't even figured out what our currency is, but I think Shawn, you might actually have the monopoly on it.
I will.
So you could have everyone take turns on duty, but does anybody really want like a preschool teacher
they can
running security for their no, it's not yes. There's that old saying where like specialization is for insects. Human beings should be able to do all these different things, but in the end, how many dirt farmers does it take to cure cancer?
I mean,
they're making will never do it. You have to have somebody that is specialized
that's true.
in brain surgery or in doctoring stuff to study. He has to be able to specialize in study and not have to deal with gardening and farming and fighting and like that. Otherwise, you'll never have doctors.
I mean, literally all of the doctors who have ever lived have not cured cancer. So, I mean, all of them.
A lot of ways to fight it, though.
The answer is all of them.
Maybe if dirt farmers were on it, maybe we wouldn't have cancer.
Who knows?
All right, that'll do.
You know what?
New point, plan.
Though. Dirt farmers rule the world. We have a fucking utopia.
All right, you find me a farmer that you're willing to let remove your pancreas.
Okay.
I just want to say that my currency would be called Shroot Bucks.
Mine will be Stanley Nickels.
Mine will be SSB coins. They're about this big. They're laser engraved.
How many of those do you have?
Oh, a load.
Because I've got a bunch too.
No, you have a handful.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Wait, how many do you have?
I have literally a buttload.
He's measured it. Stacked and racked.
All right, let's real quick talk about Faxon firearms. Holy man, it is a crazy time in our industry, right? Like, people are selling out of stuff. Companies are running at like max capacity and still running into stuff. It's just like, it's a crazy, get that out of here.
I assume it's yours.
Oh,
it's not mine.
Well, I just thought you were trying to get me a butt coin.
No, I was giving it to you.
Yeah, so stuff is like constantly in stock and whatnot. So I did see that Faxon is going to be making the 6mm arc barrels and bolts for Brownells, and they're still doing lots of fantastic work. So they've got barrels for just about any gun that you want. AR-15s. I just got a 7.62 by 3.9 Faxon barrel. I'll be taking that out this week. It's going to be fun. I'm kind of looking forward to it. It'll go with my SKS, and I got a binary trigger from Franklin Armory for my AK. So, yeah, it's going to be a good week.
You know why they call it the ARC?
It's advanced rifle cartridge.
No, it actually shoots bullets 2x2.
Oh, no.
Boo.
Oh, no.
It's like an AN-94.
Get out of here. But yeah, so lots of stuff in progress. They've got their Faxon FX19 Patriot and Hellfire pistols. They've got the Patriot and Hellfire slides for MMPs. They've got the Summit and the First Line if you want to build an AR, or I'm sorry, if you want to buy an AR. They've got all the parts that you need to build your own AR. Like Faxon has grown by leaps and bounds, and they're kicking butt. And if you want to support good companies that support us, go to FaxonFirearms.com. Coupon code WLS10 saves you money every day. Aaron, why don't you talk about your gear chat?
All right. Tonight I want to talk about some shoes, guys. Shoes. So Irish Setter, the shoe company, which is owned actually by Red Wing Shoes. You're probably more familiar with that brand. This is their high-end boots. They sent me some boots to try out, and I have them right. I have one of them right here. The other one's on the floor next to me. But so this is their hiking and outdoors boot.
It's the first work boot Aaron ever owned.
So I actually,
but it's not a work boot.
Actually got this to replace my other set of work boots.
My point still stands.
And so some things I like about them: they're super light. They're very firm. So I'm squeezing it. You can see it's actually got a lot of not a lot of give to them.
I heard you like it firm.
I do like it firm. It is nice. They rise up high enough. They're a little tight. These are 10.5s, and that's what my normal foot size is. I guess maybe they run small. I should have gotten 11. Probably would have fit better. These are the medium widths, and which I went with because I figured I have wider feet, so medium might have been good. They're actually tight, so if you have wide feet, go with the large width. This is their, I think, like 2804. The number on the brand number on these are called. Let me go to gear chat section here.
They are called
VaperTrek boots. Yeah, so they have one that comes in camo style. This is their more outdoorsy looking ones. The rubber is very high on the outside, so you don't have to worry about peeling. It's got a little rubber toe stop way up here for stubbing your toe, so you don't have to worry about that. The one thing I don't like about these boots is the tongue of the boot is attached here. So getting your foot up top really high, the tongue is attached. So it's hard to make that turn to get your foot all the way in there because of the no matter how loose you make these laces, it does make it hard to get it in. Otherwise, they're super comfortable. They did a good job with them. This is after 1 week of work. So I'm going to continuously take pictures of how quickly they degrade.
Is that at the day job or night job, whatever?
The day-night job, yeah. So I'll take pictures to see each week to see how much they degrade and how long they last in comparison. My other boots are 4 months old, and they look beat to so hopefully these will last longer.
It's interesting on their own website, right? These things do not have a very good score, and a lot of the reviews talk about the soles being too soft and wearing out really quickly.
Interesting. Yeah, and I did get it for free. They didn't. I did not pay for it. If I were to pay for it, they charge $160 for $159.99. So.
They so I don't like a lot of one of those reviews are like that because these are probably boots that are made to not be on concrete, and most people are going to walk around on concrete all day with them.
Yeah.
It's like having soft mud tires and driving on the road only with them. Well, they only lasted for 15,000 miles. Well, yeah, stupid. They're made for mud holes.
One review specifically said that he bought them for deer hunting, and he had a picture of the soles, and they were already breaking down after, he said, 2 weeks during deer season.
It's interesting that their website has so many negative reviews of their product.
Yeah. Usually I see like good reviews or like good scores on websites for their own product, and I'm like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
But these guys have a 2.7.
Out of 179 reviews, too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of reviews.
2.7 out of 5. So, I mean, apparently the Irish Setter website doesn't cheat their reviews.
Yeah, which is actually, I kind of respect that. And
I'm like, all right.
And they're replying to the reviews as well, like, hey, yeah, that sucks.
So if
Let us fix it.
If they have 5 stars on there, they're probably really good boots.
So yeah, again, the people have seen them. They say they look really nice, and they do. They look really nice. They're
not bad looking
boots. I just hope they hold up. That's the key there.
How the rubber on the soles comes up around the side, and they've got that weird angular texture.
Yes,
it reminds me of like Deus Ex or some other sci-fi. Like if you made that black and glossy and it moved, it would be like the loading screen for some sci-fi game.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like this stuff right here.
Yeah. Those like triangular pyramidal.
Yeah,
they're good looking boots. Hopefully they hold up.
Yeah, I mean, I picked them because I liked the way they looked, and the fact that they were lightweight and waterproof. Because a lot of times, if they last through the winter, the floors where I work, a lot of snow comes in, it gets cold out. It's supposed to be really good insulation, which is all important stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Keep us posted.
Hey, one big thing here too is they say they have scent ban.
Oh yeah,
totally. Which is scent control, which would be great for Jerambe. He should look into that.
And they do have double E width, which is important for me.
Yeah.
Double E width.
And also important if you get the scent. Was it scent whiff?
Scent ban.
Scent ban. You can actually buy clothes that are scent ban too, because just having your feet not smelled doesn't really deter the rest of your body.
Yeah. Well, actually, so my hunting stuff all gets washed with an unscented. Unscented laundry detergent and then put in plastic.
All good things.
Yeah. All right. So the product I wanted to talk about tonight is the Humboldt receiver from 3rd Gen Tactical. It's in my little hands right here. It's pretty fancy. Nick and I were looking at it before the show. It's made out of 7075 T6 aircraft grade billet aluminum. I did look that up just to kind of see what that was all about, and it's apparently like the strongest aluminum that you can get.
You mean,
or one of the strongest.
Is it aluminum?
Yeah.
Or is it steel?
No,
because you said it was steel earlier.
I just misspoke.
But you said STEAL, so I wasn't sure.
It was a steel.
Aircraft grade billet aluminum, and so observations. It's got nice lines.
It is beautiful.
It really is, like literally gorgeous. Nice lines, built-in trigger guard. Just even the engraving of their logo, like, is textured. It's not just like a normal laser engraving. It's like got all tiny texture in it.
It's stippled.
Yeah, which is crazy.
You don't usually see on aluminum, especially not like this. But
yep.
But yeah, it looks great.
Doesn't have a tensioner in the area where the grip goes, so you can kind of tension uppers and lowers together. Some people have started putting that in. I think that's pretty groovy. The detent that normally goes in underneath the end plate and the castle nut is actually underneath in the grip, which then goes up and pushes on the rear takedown pin.
So it's set up like an AR-10.
An AR-10.
Yeah, so exactly. So instead of being in the back, it's in the bottom there. It does have.
I like it. I like that because I hate when they have it otherwise.
I mean,
really?
Yeah, that's the one. I know that's easy for you. But
it makes more sense. It does.
It's the one thing that always screws me up. I always end up bending that spring in the back.
I don't get it. Like I would rather have the set screw on the back. If I was going to get fancy, I'd rather have the little set screw that you put in the back.
Like the M4E1.
Oh, yeah. If you have that set screw, that's a different story, though.
Yeah. And
I always got to cut the spring down, though, because otherwise it's like really
it's
tight.
It's super tight. You have to cut that spring.
You got to cut the spring, but like it's so much more convenient.
And this is also threaded. Right. It is threaded in this as well.
Oh, okay. Did it come with a set screw?
I don't see one, but I guess I haven't been through the... No, it doesn't look like it. However, I do have like 100 of them, so it's not a big deal.
What if they're not the right thread pitch?
They're pretty standard. Also, the bolt release is threaded, and that does have the pin in it, the bolt, the screw, the Allen screw. It is not a low shelf lower, which doesn't matter to 99% of people. And the finish is amazing. Like even inside the magazine well, there's like no tool marks. Inside the trigger pocket, there's no tool marks. Like it is.
Is it EDM or?
I don't know.
I highly doubt it.
Probably not, but yeah, it's freaking beautiful. And it looks good.
It couldn't be EDM in the pocket, but
Oh yeah, true. Because that wire has to go through.
yeah, it's got to go through.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I mean, if you drill it and then put the wire through it, then you could. But that would take too long.
Well,
It doesn't work like that.
yeah, like you could cut out the trigger guard with an EDM, but you couldn't cut out the trigger pocket with an EDM because the wire has to go through and then the wire.
I'm
moves
sorry.
through
I thought you said the Bagwell. I apologize.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, you could do the magwell with EDM.
Yes.
Wouldn't really make sense though.
Yeah,
I think Faxon does theirs with an EDM.
I don't know.
Do they?
They're a rifle that they make.
But like the magwell
The ARAC.
on
Yeah,
the lower,
the ARAC they use the EDM.
they probably do on some parts. But like cutting out a magwell with an EDM would be
if you got it, why not
highly
use it?
inefficient because it's slow.
Well, they must work. Well, they don't make a ton of them, man. So I don't see why it would be a big deal.
So
Anyway.
these are made in the USA. Again, by Third Gen Tactical. They're pretty excited about them. They're going to have matching receiver sets coming out and everything like that. And I guess this is the time where I'm like, this is beautiful. Nick looked at it for a couple minutes and he was like, this is gorgeous.
It is. It really is. That stippling around the logo on the magwell.
Yeah.
That is sharp.
It really is. And it's like darker inside just because of the texture they put in it.
Yeah.
Fire and safe.
Good work, boys.
Yeah, good
Like,
work.
God.
Do we have an MSRP?
We do. It's $249. So, I mean, that is pricey for a lower, but we're going to have this, we're going to have it in a build soon. I think I'm going to try to do this one with the 6mm arc, depending on what the lead time is for those barrels and bolts.
Nice.
But yeah, like it is gorgeous. And $249, it is very pricey. This is one of those things that's like, there is that tier of people who buy like expensive stuff because they want the best possible quality that they can get. And my expectation, because of the attention to detail they put into everything else, is that this will be of like outstanding quality once we assemble it. And I mean, it is made of some of the best grade aluminum that you can get.
Yeah. But do you think that versus a Poverty Pony or a Palmetto State Armory lower, do you think any one is going to be more durable than the other?
Yes, ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stronger aluminum.
Do I think that it matters to 99% of shooters? No. But hey,
I don't think I've ever seen a receiver that wasn't 70-75 T6.
Aren't most of them 60-61?
yeah, 60,
No,
61.
most of them are 70-75 T6. Most of the handguards, a lot of handguards are 60, but most receivers are 70-75. I've never seen a receiver that wasn't 70-75 T6.
I actually looked it up before the show, and most of the ones were the 60-61.
I think 60-61.
Most of the ones from where?
I was Googling, I wanted to find out more about the material and why it was important. And when I was looking at other ones, they were the different kind. Or they didn't mention it at all.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever actually seen one that wasn't 70-75. Like, they always sell that as like the selling point. I'm like, everybody uses that. I've seen handguards where they're like, yeah, it's 60, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
I mean, either way, I don't think
finish
most
and
people-
design are definitely calculated into that.
Oh,
price.
it's stylish,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think
It's beautiful.
going on about the aluminum's helpful.
As far as
kind of like cold hammer forged barrels.
as far as compared to like a Palmetto or
Don't even get me started.
a Anderson, I would suspect if you bought 10 of these and 10 of those, you'd be way more likely to run into an issue with like a Palmetto or an Anderson.
Yeah.
Obviously, like quality control is probably going to be way better on
I
this.
agree. So for a rifle that I wanted to be really proud of, I'd probably use something like this. But yeah, again, I mean, that $249 price tag is going to be an impediment for some people, and other people, that's going to be the stuff that they look for. We'll report back as soon as I have more information on this. Just got it in, so looking forward to putting it into something and getting it there. Savage, what do you have for us?
Oh my God, is it my turn?
Apparently, mil spec is 70-75, according to the
all right.
according to the chat.
I stand corrected, Jeremy. I was wrong,
Is he even
Jeremy.
here?
No,
he's not even here. He can't see you.
Aaron, I was wrong.
Yeah, but you're wrong to Jeremy. You weren't wrong to me.
I was wrong, period. It doesn't matter who it's to.
No. You admit when you're wrong. You just never admit when you're wrong to me.
I've never been wrong to you. If I ever am, I'll admit it.
Oh no! Please stop. Let's not get into this. It's my turn. Shut the fuck up. So
I was wrong.
So I had recently got my hands on a Taurus TX22, and the review is soon to come, but it is definitely on the positive side. Taurus has another set of pistols they've had for the longest time, the G2s and the G2Cs, and they've recently come out with the G3s and now the G3c, which is the compact 9mm pistol, which is kind of like their version of the Glock 26. This thing is coming in. It will have magazine capacity, depending on your state, of 10 or 12 rounds, and it will come with 3 magazines out of the box, which is pretty. I don't know too many other guns that will ship with 3 magazines, so I think that's actually pretty cool of them. It's got a single action striker fire pistol with restrike capability. So if you do have a dud, there's an option that it could possibly go off with the second pull of the trigger. It's got a Tenefer matte black coating on the slide, front slide serrations. The G2Cs and the G2s have had a fairly good reputation. A lot of people are saying good things about them, and they have good reliability so far. Taurus as a company has had a bad reputation for a long time, but much of their manufacturing has actually moved stateside, and I believe that is probably what has started kind of the good reviews and press on them in regards to their general QC. So this thing's coming out with an MSRP of $305.74, which is a really freaking weird number, but I imagine you can probably get a hold of these things for around $250 street price when it hits the market. Oh, and I believe the sights are actually Glock compatible. So if you want to buy some new sights for it, you can get pretty much anything that's Glock compatible with that.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's very forward thinking of them.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Actually, our Taurus person that I deal with reached out. This is on the way. I actually expected it today. Should be here tomorrow.
What?
Yeah,
man. I saw your headline and I got really excited because I was like, cool, Taurus is making a G3. That should be really interesting.
If only, right? Because HK sure as isn't going to do it.
I mean, we already have a set me from Century, so like, why not?
True
Try out
that.
another cheap roller delayed.
I'm interested in this because 10 to 12 rounds.
There's some interesting things here that like Taurus still confuses me on. Like they give you those nice scallops. If you're looking at this, it's got these nice scallops for you to throw your support hand thumb into right above the trigger guard. But then they also make them like really smooth.
Yes, there is that.
So like
they should probably be stippled.
You see the lip that they put on for your thumb on the grip?
Yeah.
Like if the front speed ramp was like that, it would be better.
Yeah, like give us some sort of a ledge or like some texture or something to hang on to. Just some like kind of interesting stuff. They do have forward slide serrations, which is nice.
Yeah.
Frickin' jam.
Oh, and this will also take the larger magazines from their other previous pistol lines that go up to 17, 18 rounds. So that's also
cool.
another design bonus for them.
That's awesome. And the price, MSRP of $305.
It's good. It's definitely. I mean. It's competitive.
If it's a decent gun, this will make a mark in the P365 and the Hellcat area.
So many calls from so many poors.
What do you care if you're making money on it?
Because I don't make much money on it.
Dude,
there's no markup. To be competitive, I'll make $20 on that gun. And people are like, man, you got that G3? It's just like, ugh. No, because I can't get 4 billion of them in for all the hood rats.
It's almost High Point prices, right? It's going to be what, like $250?
Yeah, that's definitely High Point range.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. Yeah, literally, it should be here. I was expecting it today, so maybe tomorrow, and we'll definitely hit it up.
I will say this: I got a TX22 in to the shop, and when I put that thing in my hand, there was angels sang.
It is wonderful. It is gorgeous.
Oh my God! Like
I know, right? It's the most surprising, and it's so light. It's stupid light.
I mean, it's no lighter than like any of my other like 22s in that realm.
Single stack ones, but it's a double stack.
I put my thing in my hand, and I was like, "Holy! I want to hate this thing, and I can't."
I know.
Grip. I obviously haven't shot it, but
it's a laser beam. It is seriously a laser beam.
That's like the best, testament to Taurus that I've ever heard.
Jeremy
Pozderac said that when he held it, angels sang.
I mean, that's the only good thing to say. I haven't shot it. No reliability tests. It fit my hand very, 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 very well.
That's one fits my hand better. Look at that. Savage has it.
Right there.
Despot, bro.
Yeah.
What, you haven't done a Despot this week?
No Despops. It is beautiful. It is very nice. Very light. I love the slide is so light. It's ridiculous.
All right, yeah. So we'll have the G3c in and have a show and tell out on it at least in the next week or so. Nick, you wanted to talk about something very controversial.
Is it controversial?
Yeah, it's
Whoa.
I
thought we weren't saying that word.
it's stupid.
Oh, now you're saying people who are stupid, Shawn?
No.
Because that's exactly what you just said.
Okay. That's not what I meant. You know that's not what I meant.
So,
true.
This is the striker control device. We've probably talked about this before. It's been around for a few years now. From, would you pronounce that TAU?
Yeah.
TAU, TAU Development Group. So basically this thing goes onto the back of a Glock. It's a slide plate or whatever, slide cover. And then it's got a little hinged portion that pops out. And when you pull the trigger, that hinged portion swings out as far as I can tell. And then drops, right? Like as you pull the trigger, the striker moves back and then is released. So it moves in conjunction with that. And the idea here is that you can put your thumb on that, push down, and it's sort of like putting your hammer or your thumb on the hammer of a hammer-fired pistol while reholstering. So you can push.
It's a decocker.
It's not a decocker.
It's a cocker disabler.
Yeah, basically you're indirectly pushing on the striker so that if it starts to move, either A, you feel it, or B, you stop it while you're reholstering the pistol. Yeah, this thing is available for Gen 1 through 4, most of the Glocks, Gen 5. It's $89.
$89.
It is.
Yes.
It is $89. It does appear to be machined from aluminum.
But is it 7075 T6?
I have no. Oh no, it's actually.
You laugh, but I'll bet you $86 is worth one hole in your butt cheek.
It's actually 17-4 pH stainless steel that has a black oxide finish,
Not aluminum.
and it is proudly made in the United States of America. So yeah, I have been kind of shocked by this thing. Like I remember seeing this a few years ago and kind of writing it off and being like, this is just one of those like dumb gimmick things that's totally unnecessary that they're going to sell to people who are uncomfortable carrying a Glock. The same people that like refuse to carry a pistol without a safety or, want to carry without a round in the chamber or whatever. But in the last few months, I've been seeing this around the internet in places that shocked me. Places where people don't typically care about things like that, or like Facebook groups where people post pictures of them pointing their gun at their those same guys, a lot of them
Point gun at
are into this thing. So I'm kind of confused by it. Like personally, I don't really get it. I've never really felt the need for something like this. What do you guys think?
Don't want it, don't need it.
Yeah, I kind of have always thought it's a little bit silly, and I'm surprised that people are kind of buying into this. Like, dude, if I'm worried about my Glock going off when I insert it into my holster to the point where I need to hold the fucking striker immobilized with my thumb, then I better really reevaluate everything. My holster, my methods, the handgun itself. Like, I am just not in.
Anybody else have a different?
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of with him. I mean, I could see it though. Like I see the appeal.
Yeah,
I see the appeal.
Maybe for cops.
Yeah, or
maybe.
I guess if I was teaching a lot of beginner shooters and I was supplying the firearms, maybe something like this might be like an extra level of security for like these new people I don't know.
I don't know, Nick, because then you're teaching someone a manual
Bad
of arms
habits.
manual of arms that they may never need or use.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily bad because, I mean, if you're going into the holster, the threat, it should be non-existent, correct? So, like, throwing
so you should watch your gun go into the holster, so you should be...
I agree. But throwing your thumb on the back of the slide isn't necessarily a bad habit. If anything, it'll prevent the gun from going out of battery, and it might actually be a good thing.
That's true.
Like, I don't necessarily see it like as being detrimental, as long as the thing, as this backplate thing goes, as long as it doesn't break, and cause failures. Which a lot of people are saying that they haven't seen any issues with very many rounds.
Right, but more moving parts means more things can go wrong.
My biggest thing,
I mean, it may never go wrong, but at the same point, it's not needed. And if you feel, like Shawn was saying, if you feel that concerned about it, maybe you need to reevaluate everything.
Maybe you were never concerned about it. Maybe you still put a round on your fucking leg. Like, I don't know. It happens. It's a safety device. You can opt to put it on or not. Even if you're not worried about it, it's one more thing that you could do. Now, the thing I don't like about it is, is it a possibility for it to interfere with the function of the firearm when I need it?
Yes.
That's the flip side.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't want it. I think it's silly.
I don't know that I'm going to I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to, well, I definitely would talk to a friend that had it.
Yeah.
But I would talk to a friend that had like pretty much anything on their gun. I don't know that realistically I'm going to judge someone for having it, but I don't, it doesn't do it for me.
No. And honestly, I kind of question the people who are like, oh yeah, no, this is great. Yeah. The Fish just said he was shocked that the PNS primary and secondary click was into this. And I agree. I'm really actually shocked about that. And honestly, like this is like fudge, I will say. Like the people they're marketing this to are generally like I would expect them to be FUDs.
Like they do make conversion kits for Glocks, so you can put a manual thumb safety on your Glock.
Yeah.
Like that is a thing that is out there.
That's FUD.
And that when I first saw this, like that was one of the first things I thought of was like it's like a thumb safety for your Glock. Like seems kind of unnecessary, but I don't know. I guess if it makes you feel better and makes you carry more, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Roden said it's not intrusive. If it functions fine, I don't see a problem. Like I don't have a problem with it. Like whatever people want to sell, and if people buy it, that's on them. But I don't know. It's dumb. It's silly, and it solves a problem that you should probably solve with training equipment. Or not even a problem at all. It doesn't solve anything. It just makes you feel secure. I don't know. Roden said, would you not feel more comfortable running a lighter trigger with this on? No, absolutely not, actually. If I was running a trigger that I was worried was going to go off, then I wouldn't run the trigger. Like, I feel like this maybe it's a crutch. And, dude, I'm down with some dumb but not this. Like, I really am. Like, there's some out there that I'm like, okay, I can see where that might make sense, but this is just dumb. This is a hole in the sheet, right?
And nothing's gay if you do it with a hole in the sheet.
I don't know.
I thought that was the only way Hasidic Jews did it.
No, that's Amish people.
Remember Matt Prime? They have the special underwear or something. It's special underwear.
Oh, the Mormons.
Mormons, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Special underwear so that you're not tempted with lust or whatever. I don't actually know what it's for, but it's like kind of like that kind of thing. Like it may make you feel better, but is it actually providing you any value? Yeah. So Dennis D says, so you're saying the pressure on the striker keeps it from firing? So yes, basically. So when you pull the trigger, the striker pushes that plate back, and by pushing that, it doesn't allow the striker to come back, so it doesn't allow it to release and then fire, correct?
That's my understanding. Obviously,
it takes away the spring tension.
Yeah, well, tension's still there. Like, theoretically, you could put your thumb on the back of this thing and pull the trigger and still have it go off, but you'd be fighting pressure from your thumb. So I think the idea is that either A, your thumb is going to push it forward hard enough that if you run into something with the trigger, it won't go off. Or B, you'll feel your thumb moving up on this thing, and you'll go, oh, I have like an obstruction in my holster, or I snagged my T-shirt with my trigger, or my finger's still on the trigger while I'm trying to put it in the holster, or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I'm down with some dumb but not this. Aaron?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
What you gonna do now? Talk about lifestyles. Hey, Ron, what you gonna do now? Talk about lifestyles. Brought to you by Brown Hills.
I finally did it. I ordered a BRN 180.
Oh,
Dude,
wow.
so cool.
Do you like it, Jeremy? Tell me what you like about it.
I just think it's cool. I love the look of it. I love the function of it. I love the. I did go out and order stock because I got tired of waiting.
Yeah, I mean, that one's like just barely coming to market right now.
Yeah, so like I'll put it on when I get it, but I still bought another one because it's not like I can't use two. So I'm having I'll have a SB Tactical triangle brace folding on it here whenever it gets here.
Yeah, and I got the SB Tactical. That's not the triangle brace. It's the one that goes out to it. And
Like the L.
Yeah, exactly. So I ordered the 180 upper and then the same lower that you got, Jeremy, and then that other stock, which I think is pre-order as well.
I know the lower's out.
Yeah, the lower's out. So like all my stuff except for the stock should actually get here pretty soon. I'm pretty excited.
Mine's got an Elfman trigger and a Swamp Fox prism.
Very nice. Oh, you put the blade on it?
Yep.
Very nice. So yeah, the BRN 180, it's out there, it's available. They've been pushing them pretty hard, and Jeremy loves it. I can't wait to get it in and just kind of see, like, I don't know. I've been hearing about them for a while, and finally I was just like, F it, let's do this.
Yeah, I look forward to hopefully getting to shoot it.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. So yeah, check out Brownells. So much of their own stuff. In fact, like the Glock 43 slide that I ordered is Brownells branded. They've got the BRN 180. They've got pretty much all of like the clones.
And they've been teasing the What Would Stoner Do 2020 stocks.
And that, I mean, they're still doing that. Actually, it's still on the front page with In Range and KE Arms. So
That's it.
yeah, that'll be coming out as well. Anyway, go check them out. Literally whatever you need from Brownells, they're going to have this stuff, unless you need 9mm ammo, which I'm pretty sure is still pretty hard to come by because, look, everyone's buying it up. That's all there is to it. But, yeah, if you want parts for your gun, you want a whole gun, like I've got a P365 XL on order from them. It's back ordered right now, but that'll be in soon. And I'm going to go look for 9mm Luger ammo right now. Special filters, in stock, 9mm. So they've got Black Hills Ammunition and Syntech Action Pistol 9mm from Federal in right now. Oh, I might actually order some. Hold on.
Which upper did you get? Did you get rifle or pistol?
Pistol.
Nice.
I thought that would be more fun.
Good call. Good call.
And I'll just SBR it.
Well, like, I'm kind of interested. I kind of want to get a carbine upper and see how it does.
Yeah, they're interesting. I was thinking like, I'm kind of into short.
It'll be more fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to like basically in my life. I'm trying to basically convince everybody and everything that shorter is better in all aspects. Aaron, wake the up.
I am awake.
Anyway, go check out brownells.com. Aaron, what you got for us tonight?
So with the COVID and the pandemic and the riots and everything going the I got chickens, and I think it's really a cool thing to do. To be able to be more self-sufficient, chickens provide both eggs, which you can eat, and if they stop laying eggs, they're meat. So, and if you work really hard, you can milk one.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, chickens don't have nipples.
Actually, wait, never mind. Yes, you can milk your rooster. Keep trying.
No, you couldn't even do that.
No, you couldn't.
Aaron, did
You have to make sure you know where the cloaca is.
Yeah, they have a cloaca, not a
hit him in the vent, bro. Aaron, did you name them?
I have not named. Well, the kids named two of them.
Okay. So, would you kill them for meat? Like,
no, I don't plan to kill them for
meat.
Okay. Unless no meat is available, then hell yeah, the dogs are on the table at that point.
I mean, the kids, for that matter.
We can always make more kids.
Exactly. No, that's the thing. Is like, so chickens, I had 4 at one time, and they were amazing. They were like awesome pets. I used to go sit in the backyard with my laptop and just pop my legs up on the chair, and they would literally just come, fly up and roost on my legs and just sit there and just sleep while I worked. Like, they were really cool pets. They're stinky as f***, they're disgusting, but they eat anything. They take care of any bugs they can reach, and they're cute as hell. Like, they're really good pets. And they get really attached to you. And yeah.
So I pre-bought a coop, and it's built for for 4 chickens can roost in there. So I'm like, that's not going to work. So I've been working on a roosting section, like an addition to the thing, and it's almost done. It's going to look sweet.
Very nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
they're really cool. I mean, they'll eat out of your hands. They'll let you pick them up.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
really super friendly.
If you wanted more than 4, you should have got like a chicken sedan.
Yeah,
not a
at
coop.
least a 4-door for sure.
So yeah, chickens are great pets, and man, when ours were laying, they laid a lot of eggs, which is crazy because I don't even eat eggs like very often.
Really?
Yeah, I
love eggs.
I love eggs and bacon, and I'll eat that maybe once or twice a month.
Really?
That's the only eggs I eat.
We have eggs all the time. In fact, we the thing is too is we buy like free range eggs from like a friend of a friend kind of thing. They have like chickens and they have eggs. So I mean, and the nice thing about those eggs is you don't have to refrigerate them. You can leave them on the counter for like a week. And you don't have to worry about it.
You're not even supposed to refrigerate them.
Right. It's great. So I mean, we eat a ton of eggs at our house. So now we don't even have to do that. They'll just we won't have to go out. We just got them right in the backyard. But they're cute, man. Eggs. The chickens. They're actually really cute. At least currently, they're not ugly. There are some crazy looking ones like the silkies, I think.
Oh yeah, silkies are they're cool. They've got like mops on their head.
Yeah, and fur feet. I don't even know.
Totally,
but
totally,
they're great. They're great. And I suggest other people try this. Sean's had chickens. Savage walks like a chicken. Jeremy a chicken. Nick smells like a chicken. I mean, chickens are all over the place, so it's pretty awesome.
I've had lots of chickens growing up.
I actually drove to Castle Rock yesterday to have fried chicken. Nice. It's like a 45-minute round each way. There's a place called the Castle Cafe in Castle Rock, Colorado that has either the first or second best fried chicken that I've ever had in my whole life. The other one was in Louisiana near New Orleans called Willie Mae's Chicken. But, man, now my mouth is watering for chicken.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to go check it out.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Best fried chicken that I've ever had.
The closest Popeyes to me is 45 minutes away.
Just almost say cloaca.
Dude, I swear to God, he did.
The closest Popeyes to me is about 45 minutes away, and I've made that drive just to get those freaking spicy chicken burgers. Oh, yeah.
Man, we have Popeyes everywhere around here.
I've never had Popeyes.
I actually, where did I go? I went to some restaurant the other day for like first time going to a restaurant in like 3 months. It was really crazy. And I got the buffalo chicken wrap because it was like, oh, this is so good because it reminded me of Vegas.
Nice. But yeah, anyway, chickens are great pets, and honestly, like eggs and possibly meat, if you fatten them up enough or you need it, they're pretty great pets. What was the Fennec SMG?
Oh, it's from Call of Duty. It's actually the Vector.
Oh, okay.
They call it the Fennec, and then they have the Galil in there too, which is actually pretty badass.
Nice.
But it's not called the Galil.
Okay, so guy in a garage sent a VR system here, and finally I put together a computer that would run it. Ooh. So I've been playing a bunch of different games, like Super Hot VR is one of my favorites.
I love Super Hot. That's one of the best games.
It is.
Is that slow motion one?
Yeah.
Where you're dodging bullets and
yeah,
that's a good one.
Like you're fucking like turning and grabbing a gun out of midair and shooting a dude in the face, and then turning and machine gunning like a whole line of dudes.
Now, did you buy the full game? Because I only have the demo right now.
Yeah, I bought the full game. It was the first thing I bought because I played it on my buddies like several years ago, 2016 probably, and finished the whole game in an afternoon. And I finished this one in like an afternoon too.
Beat Saber is awesome too.
Okay,
where's that Gorn one? That like that gladiator style combat one.
I've been thinking about buying that. It's actually it's not. It's like $24, something like that. I was thinking about buying it. I saw it, but okay, fucking Beat Saber. I don't. Holy! I've been playing that game like I don't know, probably 2 to 3 hours a day.
Isn't it awesome,
dude? Just pouring sweat from every part of my body.
Don't they have like a boxing trainer that's like the same thing? Like you're just out there doing punches.
Yeah, I didn't like the boxing one. I love Beat Saber, and I like the music too, man. The music's good.
Oh, it's like all electronic.
I have Creed, which is one of the boxing ones, and I really, really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
So wait, are you guys sharing this?
No,
VR headset?
I have a PlayStation VR.
Oh, nice.
Beat Saber looks like a lot of fun, but it also makes me think of Guitar Hero.
Okay, so that it's like Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution all mixed together with lightsabers.
But I don't really like those very much.
Okay.
Which is why I haven't bought it yet. I need to try yours, I guess, and maybe I'll like it and I'll buy it.
I've got it up on screen here. It's like
it looks really cool.
Yeah, she's like dorky as and I'm sure that I look like the biggest nerd on the face of the earth. But literally, the door monitor went off and I tore that off like I got caught. But yeah, like I'm out there like just getting a great cardio, like plyometric workout. Like holy, it is so freaking hard.
And you're moving to the beat, which is awesome. I mean, it's a great game.
Yeah, I'm playing the campaign, so you're going like hard, expert, and all kinds of stuff like that. It took me like 45 minutes to an hour today to pass one of the levels. No dude,
kidding.
It's so fun. Like VR, like I played it when it very first came out, and it is amazing. But Beat Saber is like, it's definitely caught my attention. And again, I'm sure I look like a f***ing nerd, but I don't even care.
If anybody out there has seen the new Star Wars Squadrons ad for that sim, I will be playing that thing first day it's out, man. That thing looks f***ing awesome.
It does look pretty cool.
Have you tried Hub VR yet, Shawn?
Actually, no. I was thinking about like
no, they don't. They actually have that.
Yeah.
Oh, they actually have. So I just go to Pornhub and find it.
One of our listeners, he got a VR system. I was playing Call of Duty with him. He's like, "Yeah, I tried out the Pornhub VR," and I'm like, "And he's like, it sucked. It was terrible. Don't do it."
So I hadn't even thought about it. I'll be totally
now, right?
Totally true. Hadn't really thought about it, and then I got my setup, and I was texting Shawn and cameraman Steve, and I think it was cameraman Steve was like, "Okay, but can you watch porn on it?" And I was like, "I think so."
Yeah, that Pornhub has a whole. I'm looking at it right now with Nick right next.
So like I went and found it.
It's not awkward at all.
For science, tried it out, and
Tried it out.
Yeah.
For science, Jeremy.
Like you got to try it once, but yeah, it's.
I'm not even trying because it's my kid's VR system. I'm not going to try it on that because like saving the history.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't if I was you, Aaron.
Mode there.
Wait, do you download it or you just go to?
I don't know how yours works. Mine being on a PlayStation, it was way more effort than it was worth.
Yeah,
I had to go through a bunch of.
I mean, so I have virtual desktop from Steam, which means I can just basically put my computer in the virtual world and control it there. But that seems dumb.
No, even like if it wasn't that much of a hassle, I don't. It's not. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Like I mean, try it out, I guess, but.
Yeah. Siegel SP 2002 said, "I know what Shawn's doing later tonight." Yeah. Beat Saber, dude.
Yeah, he's beating his saber.
Beat Saber.
I swear,
exactly,
dude. I swear to God, like I had Angel come watch this level because I was like, "Look at this crazy level," because it's like ridiculous. It is. I told her yesterday. I was like, I always knew I was meant to be a Jedi.
Okay, so can you
You got to watch it on yourself doing that.
Yeah, watch it on like she can watch you play like on her phone or something.
No,
on the TV
on the monitor you can watch.
Oh, okay. I have the Quest, so it's like a standalone. It doesn't use a computer, but you can stream to like your like a phone or device, so someone can watch you do your thing.
See, I would like to get a Quest eventually.
You could actually put up a green screen in front of you, and then set the camera at an angle, and then you could project the game onto the green screen.
Totally. Yeah, I actually need to figure out how to record it because I think it would be hilarious for the cult to.
If it's Windows, you just do the Windows G command, and you should be able to screen record your game.
I'll try.
One that I've had a lot of fun with. No, I'm sorry, Aaron.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to continue.
One that I've had a lot of fun with is Keep Talking and No One Explodes. So like it's multiplayer. You have one person.
That's a fun game.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Oh, I saw
One person
that.
puts on the headset. and they can see the bomb and like interact it and move it around and look at it and stuff. And then everybody else or your other person or however many people you have a manual, and you have to go through. Like the person that can see the bomb describes what they see. The person with the manual has to go through and try and figure out like how to disarm it, and it's really hard. It's a lot of fun.
So Chris just said Sean's playing Meat Saber. Yeah, double donger. No, there was that one game though that's not available on the Quest I was telling Shawn about, where you can actually like make cartoons. Like you set up a scenario and you pick the characters, and you know when you talk, it looks like it's talking, and you can record it. So
yeah, they have like I think it goes for like 30 seconds, and you can do like little 30-second skits.
Yeah, it looked cool. I wanted to get it, but again, it's not for the Quest.
I just found.
So with the one of the cool things about the Quest is they have made it so you can connect it to a PC and use it like a normal, like an HTC Vive or one of the other not standalone headsets, which has kind of made it appealing to me.
Yeah, and one of the things I wanted to do with it too, but you can't do with the Quest is fly a drone.
Oh, that
Ooh, yeah,
would
that's
be
pretty cool.
Yeah, you could do that with some of the other systems where you can actually hook a drone right up to your system, and you can fly like first person view.
Have you guys tried watching movies or anything?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched Twister.
Yeah, Netflix
actually.
is pretty cool.
It really is. That's one of the reasons I kind of want to get one of the Quests. I know they have the cheaper version that just does like movies and stuff.
Okay.
But I kind of want to get a Quest for traveling. Like airplane rides would be so much better if I could ignore everyone around me, including Shawn, and like because he's always like, I don't play games with people who get over the line, and then he like puts his elbow in my ribs.
Oh, what's cool about that too is if like you have a Quest and say I have a Quest and you want to watch a movie, we can watch it together and talk to each other.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, you can talk to people while watching the movie.
So it's like
Which
we're
is like-
sitting in the theater talking, but not annoying people.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say it's like watching a movie with my kids who are like constantly, well, why did this happen? I'm watching the same movie you are. You tell me.
What do you think? I got some kind of like superpower?
Exactly.
So I just figured out I'm actually installing the way to record me playing Beat Saber on
Nice. You can't just do that.
on my Steam
Dude, you
computer.
should. You know what? Get the camera from behind, and you should do it naked. See what
Well,
happens.
so this one, the view that I put up there, that has like the VR person playing it.
Oh, I see.
This is the software that does
Not
that.
just like what they see.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like that's just kind of built into my my PlayStation. So whatever I see is like whatever.
People see Sean's and it's just dangling.
Like that.
Okay.
I'll be able to.
Constantly hitting the floor.
to the beat.
Oh, you know what? My kids, my son downloaded this game where you don't even need the hand controllers anymore. It actually does motion sensing on your hands.
So I was thinking about like ordering. I can order the little things to wear on your wrist and your waist and everything that'll track you better. Anyway,
So Friday night I tried Sean's out for the first time. Obviously, like I said, I have the PlayStation one. He has the HTC Vive.
yeah.
And he's like getting me set up with the games, and he was like, "All right, now you just like shoot at this stuff or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like he's handing me the things, you know. So like I put the headset on, and he's like, "You just like shoot at the stuff or whatever." And I was like, "Okay." You have more cameras than I do, so does it like track my hands? So I just kind of put my hands out and started like trying to point at things. And he's like, "Oh no, you got to have the controllers." And I was like, "Oh." He's like, "They're over there on the cart."
Now, when you messed with it, I literally just got it running that day. I had like no experience with it.
No, I thought it was funny. You're like, "They're over there on the cart." Like after you hand me the headset and have me put the headset on, you're like, "Yeah, they're over there. Pick them up."
So now I've got it to where
So I have to like pull the headset back off and like find them and then like figure out where they're at and then put the headset. You know.
now
So
I've got
if
it.
If you step out of the zone with the Quest, the cameras will click on and you can see what's going on around.
Yeah, that's what I've got mine set up to do that now. So it actually will show like a ghost overlay of the surrounding area with the camera from the headset.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. All right, that was kind of all over the place. Check out Brownells. All right, next up, before we do anything else, I want to talk about Franklin Armory. Just got in the BFS 3 binary trigger for AKs. Really looking forward to that, but I found out today that our BFS 3 22C1 shipped. And what that is the binary trigger for a 1022.
Oh, did you get one for me?
No. So they actually come out. They're released 6 days, 13 hours, 46 minutes, and 9 seconds. The samples should go out today, and I should have it by Wednesday. We'll have it installed. Maybe we can even do that before range day on Thursday, Nick.
Sure. You said ours, so like collective communism.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So everyone on the cast is sharing the one trigger.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so I put a Tums machine on my arm. Watch my hand. It's like...
Oh, you haven't done that before?
It's kind of fun.
You should see the ones that happen like for your forehead.
Oh, no, I don't want it on my head, dude.
So, yeah, anyway, the AK, I'm pretty excited about. I'm going to put that in the Wasser 10. They wanted me to put it in the Kami gun, and I was thinking about it, but I was like, we got to review the Wasser 10, so it'd be cooler to have it in there. So we're doing the actual new reviews and stuff. But we got that, the 1022, and we've got the other binary trigger for the AR style. We're going to have that coming out very soon. Go check out Franklin Armory. Coupon code WLS10 is going to save you 10% off on triggers, guns, and like Roden once said, that they've, as a company, have done more for California than just about any other company out there, and I think that's pretty awesome. So franklinarmory.com is the place that you can go there. And Savage, it's time for Going Ballistic. Take it away.
Oh, God. I really wish I could be more happy today, but this is one of those days that, I mean, you have blue for the longest time, and then somebody just winds up and kicks you really hard in the and crushes them completely. That's pretty much what happened today, Monday the 15th. The Supreme Court dropped or refused to grant cert to every single Second Amendment case on the docket, which is insane. And it tells a lot about who on the court you can trust. Now, Thomas wrote a dissent on Rogers, and honestly, if you go and read it, it reads like the ruling he would have made if it would have gone through, and it's a fantastic dissent, and it would have been a fantastic ruling because that one, Rogers was about carrying a firearm outside the house, and Thomas was saying, yes, absolutely, the Second Amendment extends beyond the home. That's what carry, to keep him bear. Bear means you carry your arm, and you can generally bear your arm wherever you're going for your own safety.
Well, Thomas said that, this shouldn't even be a question. I mean, because people have to ask permission to carry guns, and do we have to ask permission for our First Amendment rights? Do we have to ask permission for any other rights? No.
Nope.
That was his whole point, and it was really good and well written.
Yeah, it was fantastic, but, I mean, and it's so f***ing bad because almost every single case was super telling. We had assault weapons ban. We had carry cases. I mean, it was just so if you don't know the breakdown of the courts, it's more or less 4-4, and Justice God, I'm just so fucking livid right now. Roberts is the guy who is the squishy one. Justice Roberts has been up there, and he's been trying to secure his legacy as a fair and impartial, leader of the Supreme Court. And not too long ago, a bunch of anti-gun people and politicians actually sent threatening letters to the Supreme Court telling them not to take up these 2A cases. And Roberts bent the knee, and instead of being, ambiguous and impartial, he made the court political. Because he's basically the last say. If you look at Thomas, where Thomas stands. Where Kavanaugh stands. Where Gorsuch stands on the Second Amendment. They made their feelings very clear. But Roberts has always been the squishy. Nobody never knew for sure where he would land when it came to this, and that really made it apparent this time because it only takes 4 justices to grant a cert. And if he
was a Bush appointee, correct?
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember exactly. But, I mean, if you know where 3 of those justices stand and one of them you don't, it kind of makes things simple. So he f***ed us. He f***ed the Second Amendment. And that's where we stand right now. So the deal is that we've got an election coming up. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And, RBG, the notorious RBG, has been holding on for whatever is left of her life in order to make it through this next election. And I doubt that she is going to be staying on the Supreme Court after it one way or another. So I hate Trump, but the only way we're going to get another pro-gun Supreme Court justice in there is if a Republican is elected. And unfortunately, Trump is our only option out there. And this is just like the most insane thing to have to think about because we've gone through so much this year already. Yeah. And
I just love how pissed off Thomas is.
Yeah. And he's right. He is very justified righteous indignation. These were like open and shut freebies. Didn't have to think about it. It's obvious. Boom, 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 boom. That's how it would have been ruled. But because Roberts is and squishy and isn't really about upholding the law as it was written, he wants to secure his legacy and play politics, and this is what happens.
Pretty actually insane. I've been saying, and Aaron said today, actually, I've been saying for a long time, I'm like, if nothing else, with Trump, like we got the Supreme Court that we always wanted, and I guess we fucking didn't so far. But I think we're closer to having the Supreme Court that we've ever wanted. Yeah. And Aaron said today, he's like, I guess the Supreme Court didn't matter. And you're not wrong, man. Like it's
a disappointment for sure. I'm really upset about it.
Yeah.
There is a silver lining to this administration as far as like the circuit courts, because there have been tons and tons and tons of circuit court appointees that have actually upset the left-right balance as it was. A lot of them were leaning left and they switched over to the more conservative side, which has generally been pro-gun. But obviously, just because you're on the right doesn't mean you're pro-gun, as we've learned today the very hard way.
You know what's crazy about Roberts is this is a lifetime appointment. Look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's like 7,000 years old. Like, this is I
really hope that dies.
Like, with Roberts, like we're Grave Zero said, look what Roberts did with the Obamacare ruling. Yeah, I saw that too. Just like insanity. You think... you put them on there for that lifetime appointment, and then you just realize that, wow, you up. Who did Aaron? Did you say Bush? He was a Bush appointee.
Yeah, he was, because it was odd because it was when Scalia passed away. They put him on board, and it was really weird because they put him as
Roberts. No, Gorsuch.
Gorsuch, yeah.
No, Gorsuch was for Scalia.
Yeah, Scalia.
All right. Yes. Well, it was weird.
You think of Bears. I think
it was weird because Roberts went straight to. He wasn't just brought on; he was brought on as the Supreme Court as a head justice or whatever it's called.
Did he go to head justice immediately?
Yep, that's how he was brought in. That's why I remember it.
Jesus,
I don't know. Weird. So yeah, it was a fucking tough day. Cam Edwards was like, "This is like the worst news in the universe." So anyway,
What do you do? What do you do when Supreme Court justices aren't doing what they're supposed to do? Well, when they dictate by, when they're judging by political bias, like it does nothing to do with how they feel about, assault weapons or guns or whatever. The law's a fucking law.
I guess we should.
Their activism by, judgment.
Well, and that's the thing is like we wanted Trump appointees or conservative appointees because we literally wanted them to do exactly what you just said. We wanted
But I know. I want them to uphold the law as it's written. The law is written in our favor for that.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's the other side that has been like, nope.
Yeah, so there's nothing that we can do. That is literally it. Like, once they're on the Supreme Court, I mean, they would have to really, really... It's like being in the union. They'd have to really up, I guess, to get out of there.
Or die.
I think you got to either murder somebody or die. Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that dies.
She's not even the problem right now. We know she's our enemy. It's
insane. Okay, look... That's the worst part. We shouldn't even have to be like, oh, my God, I hope we get a good pick for our side. It shouldn't even matter. It should just
the judges should not be like
they should be
party.
Impartial.
Yeah, they should be. But picking a side means you're not being impartial.
Yeah. Next story.
Next story. Well, I guess, we could always follow the example of these three upstanding citizens here in Boog, because, the boog is an actual thing and not a meme. So in Las Vegas, it turns out that an Army reservist, a Navy vet, and an Air Force vet were going to attempt to boog. FBI agents found rags, gasoline, aerosol cans, and weapons, along with booby traps, fireworks, and handwritten notes of military and survival tactics while serving search warrants on these three Nevada men who the authorities say sought to spark violence during recent Las Vegas protests. So these guys were on Facebook pages where a lot of us people are, and they were part of groups that were saying boog, and they were, bragging about doing. And suddenly, just because you are part of Facebook, even if you aren't affiliated with these guys, if you have any kind of Boogaloo memes, patches, shirts, any of that kind of now you're going to be targeted by the U.S. as, a possible terrorist or, a white supremacist group, even though, don't we even sell that's boog themed as a joke?
I mean, Boogaloo is rising up against a tyrannical government.
Yeah,
it's
been
really
a meme.
A joke. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge meme. It's like trolling and a meme, and
yeah,
but it has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with civil war, Americans against Americans. It's Americans against a tyrannical government.
Yeah, and I mean, that's essentially what's going on in Seattle right now. In the Chaz, and it's like if you look at the Antifa. Their whole thing is, we're against fascism and we're going to violently resist any form of fascist government. That's what Antifa is. And their whole line, if you talk to anybody who knows anything about Antifa, they're all like, oh, well, Antifa is basically the guys that were storming the beaches at Normandy. We're the same as I can't even say it with a straight face. Hold on. But, they're basically saying, it's not really an official group. There's no membership. All you have to do is be anti-fascist, and that means you're Antifa. And no, does that mean that – if you look at who's claiming to be Antifa, it's those people that are breaking and burning. And, yeah, you can say that you're part of it, but, that's not who's really causing the issue, And it's like these guys, they're claiming to be boog, like the boog guys – but they're not really like everybody who's making memes about boog, So everybody who's doing it for and giggles and yeah, I'm totally for that, is getting lumped in with these extremist psychos who are doing this stupid.
Okay, I don't know that they're extremist psychos. So I'm reading through the article, kind of just trying to figure out exactly what it is. They've been charged with conspiracy to damage and destroy by fire an explosive and possession of unregistered firearms, which in Nevada, I don't know that that's actually. Did they have third holes and that?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's a federal charge.
That's the only. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't actually know. They also face charges of felony, conspiracy, terrorism, explosives possession in state court. One of the guys said he's sorry for the danger his actions may have caused to the Las Vegas citizens who were engaged in constitutionally protected activity. And another one said that he was looking for an outlet to express his rage, anger, and frustration at the United States. He told police he tried to convince the group to go hiking instead of attending the protest the night of the arrest, but said Loomis tried to flee and blah, blah, blah. So did you guys hear about those two attorneys in one of East Coast states that basically threw Molotov cocktails into a cop car? And literally, they're going to prison forever. They have been federally charged, and two attorneys. One of them went to an Ivy League school, and no one's like, oh God, it's the Black Lives Matter movement that's coming at us. They did it, and it's just they're just like these dudes are. Honestly, I don't know what they were planning on doing, but yeah, it sounds like they were just idiots that were trying to do something.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker was a terrorist.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Rebel Alliance, basically, right?
He blew up a giant federal space station.
Again, so are the founding fathers. So
yeah, I totally agree. I don't know that they're psychopaths. I think they just made mistakes. And then they found notes of military tactics, possible scouting routes and locations outside city limits. They also found kill boxes, survival tactics, and fireworks as distractions. Clearly they were just, I don't know what the they were doing, but
they were planning something, whether it was going to be violent or not, or just around with like as much as is getting done in a lot of the cities with these protests. Like there was fireworks going off. There was Molotov cocktails being thrown. There are bricks getting thrown, people getting shot. I mean, it has been going down, and these guys just happen to get caught and they're boog boys. So obviously it's an organized movement, even though it's just a bunch of internet memes and these guys just went overboard with it.
And I'm sorry, like filling gas cans at a parking lot to make Molotov cocktails, like honestly, like you're up at that point, right? I honestly, I read these stories like this and I constantly, the meme of the Muppet that's like looking and then he's like side-eyeing a little bit, like nervous.
Yeah.
I always think about that because I'm always like, oh, these guys had notes on tactics. Like my whole life is like tactics and night vision and firearms and skills and survival and medical. Like that doesn't make them bad, but I am very curious to see where this goes.
I'm that frustrated.
A lot of people are very
nine pro 2A or 2A cases that the Supreme Court won't even listen to.
10.
I'm frustrated. 10.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated.
I'm frustrated too.
I get it.
The anger is justified.
Here's the thing.
Actions are a different thing.
No, I think even the actions can be justified.
At some point, yes. I don't think we're at that point.
I mean, let's
close.
Like it is like Paul Revere, those dudes, like they would have been considered just like these dudes probably. It just kind of depends. I don't really know. Like I'm not there. I am also very frustrated. But I don't know. Like I am down with people protesting. I am without question. Sure. Like protest all you want, dude. That's what makes America America. Like I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to like it. I don't even have to give a shit about it, which mostly I don't. I will say that. But bottom line, like looting, stealing, burning, hurting, destroying, those things I will consider an attack against my life, and I will defend myself appropriately. But
I hate it when people protest on false narratives.
I don't care. It's one of the things that makes America great. I don't have to give a
What's it say? I hate it. You could do it, but it's fucking stupid. And if I'm going to argue with you about your protest because it's dumb and it's based on.
Yeah. I don't know. So I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm curious to see what the actual. I'm curious to see what actually comes out of this. Just like most stuff, I'm trying to like look at it. I'm trying to get more information before I jump to a conclusion. Like every person in this universe, apparently these days. Nick, you're pretty level-headed. You're generally trying to get more information, trying to figure out what's going on before you make judgment calls on stuff. And I'm trying to be more like that. I'm trying to like not see this as they're psychopaths who are trying to murder everybody, but maybe we'll find out more information. And the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office in Nevada did not respond to messages seeking more information about the kill boxes. Yeah, that's kind of curious. Maybe these guys are fucking jackasses. Like, and again, one of the dudes was like, I just wanted to get everyone to go hiking, but instead we made Molotov cocktails. It's just
I've got no problem with people making them as long as you don't throw it at something.
Yeah.
Well, making them should not be illegal.
Throwing them shouldn't be illegal. Throwing them at like a person or someone else's property should be illegal.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's a crazy time to be alive. I want to find out more information, but it may turn out that they're just jack.
I just watched what movie was that? With the bugs.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah. Want to know more?
Yeah.
Have you ever read the book?
Yeah, it's completely different. The book is way different.
I love the movie. I also love the book.
I do like the movie. I never read the book, and then I finally read the book, and I was like, Dubois' speech in which was it, chapter 7. Dubois goes on like a long ass speech about like citizenship and all this.
Yeah,
and I was like, I love this.
It was like one line in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Okay, next story, Savage.
Next story coming out of Colorado. Interestingly enough, the Senate Bill 217 has passed, and this has got a lot of interesting stuff that's going to push back against I guess you could say, police immunity. So it says in the bill that it bans the use of chokeholds and cardioid control holds, limits the police when police are allowed to shoot at a fleeing person, and requires officers to intervene in cases of excessive force or face criminal charges. Bill requires all officers to use body-worn cameras and departments to release the footage within 45 days, which I think is actually really good, and allows for officers to be held personally liable for civil rights violations. So if you don't know anything about qualified immunity, it basically means that, you know, if a cop does something, you can't really sue him. So what this does effectively is in that. So that means that victims with their families can sue police officers in their individual capacities for constitutional violations, and those officers can be held personally liable. Honestly, I'm all for this because this means that you have to be held accountable. Police can get away with so much right now, and that's why there's a lot of anger towards them. And if a lot of that immunity was pushed out of the way, there would be a lot of basically openness. I'm not going to lie that this could be open to abuse. We all know that. However, being blanket immune to any and all of your actions is so. I think
any and all of your actions. It's actions normally associated with the duties of your job.
Yeah, but if you there's a lot of examples of cops going above and beyond that.
But that's what I'm saying. So this is going to do nothing. This will do absolutely nothing. And in 20, 30 years, they'll put qualified immunity back because so many law enforcement officers are going to be sued into the fucking ground constantly. They're going to pull somebody over, get sued. They're going to pinch somebody's arm hair when they slap cuffs on them, and they're going to get sued.
Well, that's
what was happening beforehand, which is where qualified immunity came to. This is stupid. It's virtue signaling of the highest order, and it will be put back on within our lifetime.
I disagree with you, Jeremy, because that's the whole point of the body cams is to prove innocence or guilt.
Okay, but hold on a second.
Oh, I forgot to turn it on. You know how many times that's come up?
Hold on 1 second. Atlanta. Dude, drunk at a drive-through. They get him out of the car. They're talking to him. They're like, well, like clearly DUI. Because of body cameras, there's no latitude here whatsoever. They have to take him to jail. That's all there is to it. He starts fighting with him, takes a taser, shoots it at a cop. The cops put him down just exactly like the goddamn should have. And now the Atlanta's burning down Wendy's and burning down. And the
hang on.
Hold on. Let me finish. Chief of police resigns. Like it's a disaster. He shot a taser at a cop. Like he took their taser, shot it at the cops. He deserved to die. Like, I'm sorry. He made the choices. He has to deal with the repercussions. Like, he didn't deserve to die because of the traffic stop, but when he chose to use lethal force against them.
Whoa. Now you're saying a taser's lethal force.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Because if you tase a cop, he's laying there unconscious.
And you can do whatever you want.
That is lethal.
That cop was actually... What do you mean you disagree?
I disagree. I don't think it's either lethal force if the police use it or if it, you know.
So wait. If it's a less than lethal option, but if I walk up to your not me, if a stranger knocks on your door, you open the door, they tase you, do you have the right to retaliate with lethal force?
This is it's different. It's different.
No, it's not.
It's totally different.
So cop lives are different than Aaron lives.
No, it's different.
I mean,
because he was running, fleeing, tries to shoot a taser at a cop, obviously misses because the cop was able to get 3 rounds off on the guy. You'd have to reload the taser, which you probably didn't have the option to do. I mean, let's think about it. They used lethal force against something that was
in the heat of the moment. You're making all those calculations.
Yep.
You don't just see.
You don't think they're trained? Oh yeah, a yellow. No, they are trained.
They're trained to use lethal force.
Cops are undertrained all over this country because they want to take money away and defund them.
So here's my problem.
Okay,
with this.
First of all, I've seen so many Republicans taking money out of the pockets of the police force. You can't just say it's a Democratic thing. Okay, so don't label it as Democratic because it's a political.
No, this is everybody. This is nobody that wants lower taxes, but give it to these people, but not to these people. I mean, do you know how poor?
Oh my! This has nothing nothing to do with actual what we're talking about.
So
I'm just saying, poor training. Don't say like they're trained. No, they're not.
They're not.
They have seriously armored cars and a lot of pretty good
ahead,
kit.
Two things here. One, maybe instead of buying APCs, we should be training our law enforcement.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Two. On the topic of the taser thing, when law enforcement deploys a taser, it's considered less than lethal.
Because hold on,
no.
Okay, go ahead.
When law enforcement deploys a taser, it's considered less lethal. When someone else deploys a taser, it's considered lethal, and force is escalated to meet that. Now, I definitely understand it can incapacitate an officer and put them in a position where they could have lethal force used against them, which is, in theory, not a risk that a citizen will face if a officer incapacitates them. However, if you do have backup and someone there with you and stuff, I feel like that to an extent changes things, and I do feel like there is a certain double standard there. Now, I don't think it was necessarily wrong to shoot this guy, but I don't necessarily think it was right either. It's a f***ed up situation.
For sure.
And, oh my God, I'm so glad that I'm not involved in it.
Yeah, no, but I mean, at least there was body cam footage, so there's evidence, And if they didn't have that, I mean, you would have probably really gotten.
Well, it doesn't matter. The cop got fired, and I really don't think that he should have gotten fired.
Have you ever seen someone get tased before?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they drop, as long as they're holding that taser, they're dropping the person.
What kind of taser did they have? Because there's multiple kinds of tasers, multiple kinds of the ones that use probes. There's like all kinds of different kinds. Which one did they specifically have, and what's your expertise with those?
I have zero, but I'm just saying from the tasers I've seen police use in training videos of police officers getting tased, as soon as they let up on that taser, they're like, oh, okay, I'm okay. It just, So I think the guy would have to stand there holding the trigger to walk up to the police officer to grab the firearm to actually endanger the police officer's life.
Yeah, and that's impossible.
If there's already an assault being committed,
they cut off after a period of time.
Here's a question.
Also, it's not like the movies where you get tased and you're unconscious.
Right.
Yeah. If a police officer gets tased, right, and he has a suspect, and there's a suspect, and the suspect has a taser of his own, and the suspect has the ability to tase the cop, whether it's to the point of being unconscious or not being able to respond. I mean, because when people they hit it and they fall and they're down, yeah, you're like back to it, but you're not like up and fighting.
I've seen otherwise.
I have stood there and watched someone from like 2 or 3 feet away get tased with a proper law enforcement quality taser, and he was more or less back up at it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. In that time,
Nick F says
in that time, would a suspect be able to get a gun off a cop's belt?
Yes.
And kill him with his own gun?
What was the distance between? What was the distance between the guy?
Less than 21 feet.
I thought
at the same time he was running away.
So we use so it doesn't matter. We use the tool or drill as a self-defense standard, but we're saying if he's running away and actually hits you with that taser, that he can't run that amount of distance back to kick you, stomp you, kick your head into a curb, stomp your head into a curb, pull your gun out, shoot you, cut your throat with a knife that he may have in his pocket. Like these are choices that they have to make on the fly with somebody who was reasonably calm until they tried to arrest him for being drunk in a parking lot, which they had the full right to do.
Yes, they did. I agree. I mean, up until the point where they shot him, they did everything right.
He played stupid games and won a stupid prize.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Simple.
Aaron, do you
definitely did.
Honestly think that a cop should have to go to work every day and know that if someone resists arrest, runs from them, swings at them, shoots their own taser at them, that they just turn the other cheek and well, I'm fine.
No,
Everything's
but I don't
cool.
think deadly force was necessary there, Shawn.
What do you think was necessary?
He obviously missed with the taser. He could continue the chase.
So he's a bad shot. So let's just keep chasing him. That's great.
Exactly.
Until what?
Don't talk to me like it's patronizing. This is what happened.
Well, I'm talking to you like a child right now because that's what I think of this opinion.
Taser's got one shot.
You don't know that.
What if? I mean, you do,
No,
especially an officer. Do they have more than one shot?
Yes.
Okay.
You know that for a fact, Shawn.
It was
Today I
just
learned.
up
You know
here.
the taser they were using, and you're an expert with that taser.
You are not an expert in
you
any
guys are both
taser.
arguing.
You asked that same question to me. I'm
Yeah.
just returning it back
That
to
is-
you.
that-
Apparently,
that
you're
is-
Some of the new tasers are capable of shooting 3 times before
Okay.
release.
That's badass.
It is.
I
kinda
didn't
cool,
know that
yeah.
existed.
Me either,
first of
until
all.
I read that.
Second of all, I think my dad had a pretty good response to this. The only win for the cops in this situation was to let the guy run off.
Well, here's the.
Now, I know that causes all kinds of issues, but like given the current climate and the situation that we're in, like the only way that those guys could have walked out of this situation and not been vilified is if they just let that guy f***ing go.
Right.
Like they had his car, they could find him. Like he was drunk, he probably would have gone home or something, and they could have, maybe. But like that's the only way you walk away from this as that cop and not.
Do you think if he threw a knife at the cops that they shouldn't have been able to respond with lethal force?
I'm not saying they shouldn't have been able to respond with lethal force. I'm saying that my father's argument, which I kind of agree with, is that given the current political climate, the only way that these guys aren't vilified by a huge part of the population is if they'd let that guy just run off.
Yeah,
you know what something ironic is?
That's not the best situation, or the best.
Because what if he gets in another car or carjacks somebody?
Right.
Like we don't know who he is.
There's all kinds of horrible stuff that could happen,
and then kills a family. It's just it's.
This did you watch the fight? At least what video I could find of it.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. You know what the most ironic of all of this is? If they would have actually put a chokehold on him, the guy wouldn't have ended up shot.
True.
Like that's the most ironic thing about this whole thing. They didn't put a chokehold on him when they had ample opportunity to, like dozens of times in like the 3-minute video that I saw.
Honestly,
and they could have kept him under control with a chokehold. And he wouldn't have gotten out, but they're wrestling around with him. Hell, the one cop took a swing at him a couple of times, just trying to knock him the out or something, because they didn't want to put hands on around his throat to control him.
It's just
ironically, no chokeholds killed this man.
Maybe, yeah. Like honestly, here's the thing.
Distant laugh.
It's like I am not a fan of police by any means. And I used to be, and it's crazy. And I still have respect for a lot of officers. I really do. Like, I have a lot of friends that are cops, and I think they're, like, all of them are awesome. I don't know if I'm just lucky to know good cops or if that's just how it is. But I think if you use any kind of force whatsoever against a cop, that you kind of get what's coming to you. Like, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying at some point, like, a cop goes to work every single day. And Aaron, for someone who wanted to be a cop, like, to not be able to defend yourself when someone's literally doing something that literally could take your life. Like, without question, if he hit that cop with the taser, the cop has no idea what happens after that. Whether the taser shoots once, twice, 3 times, whatever it is, they obviously felt like they were in danger of something happening, and they employed lethal force against it. Maybe they were wrong, and maybe that'll come out after the investigation. But that cop's already fired. Like, there's been no investigation. Just his life is over because someone shot a taser at him, and he chose to respond with lethal force. And I think that's and I'm almost done, and I will let you respond to this. I don't want cops to have to stand by anything that we wouldn't have to stand. If someone came up to your house and shot a taser at you, you're goddamn right that I would expect you to respond with lethal force. Because what's next? What, a taser, a knife? Like, maybe they just kick your fucking ass until you're dead. Like, I want you to be able to use lethal force if someone's trying to employ any method of violence against you, period, whatsoever. It doesn't matter what it is. I want you to be able to do it. And you're goddamn right that I want a cop to be able to do it in that situation. And I'm not saying every situation. I'm saying this very specific situation where he has no idea what the outcome is going to be, and he chose to defend himself with what he had at the time.
What the situation would be is if it is the same in a self-defense situation as a citizen and you have the right to do it, then that should be the same for a cop. But vice, the other side of the coin is if it's not justified, then no, they shouldn't be able to do it.
Have you ever been so drunk that you did something stupid and you don't remember it the next day?
No. Like 1,000 times.
Okay. Maybe this guy did the same thing, but now he's dead.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not okay, Jeremy.
Hey,
There was an assault. There was an assault.
Aaron, that's not a very good argument.
That guy got let out of jail for abusing his children. Like, I'm glad he's dead. I'm glad he's gone.
Like that.
And this was a good shoot.
Is the worst argument I've ever heard, actually.
I'm just making a statement. It wasn't an argument. I was making a statement that you don't care about a human life when it comes to this.
No, I really don't.
I don't care about most human life. I care about 300 people on this planet. Everybody else could pretty much off.
Yeah, I'm not one of those. by the way, people. Just so you know.
Yeah, you are.
We've all we've all gotten
you're right. I would not cry if you died. I'd be like, oh, that sucks. The show's going to be a little bit different from now on. But, one less commie in the world.
What were you saying, Nick?
He's not a commie.
Everyone here has gotten drunk and done dumb things.
Yeah.
However, I don't think any of us have gotten drunk and assaulted anyone.
Nope.
I know. You've never gotten in a
Or at
fight.
least,
I've wrestled with people, but I've never
Yeah.
gotten in a knockdown drag out before.
Never gotten in a fight because I was drunk.
yeah.
I mean, I heard a funny story on our show, not by any of us, but by one of our guests talking about how he teed off on someone's head.
Yeah, and
Awful, by the way.
and had someone been there and armed and they shot him,
I think
they would have been
Would
justified.
have been appropriate and justified. Yeah, I actually agree with that too. As much as I love Chris, like that.
Would you be like, oh, he deserved it?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'd be like, me deserved
Actually,
it.
yes.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
I
something
would've.
that you did in that moment.
I'd be like, I
you
love that
did
man.
it. Own up to it.
I love
get
Chris,
what's
but if
coming.
you kick somebody in the head, I mean,
Yeah, actually, I feel like I would be sad because I love Chris, and I would also be like, can play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
That's intellectually and logically consistent.
I just disagree with the fact that everyone's okay with like him getting shot. I'm not okay with that.
Ideally, it would be.
If somebody
fantastic
pointed a
if nobody
taser
had
at
to
you and
die.
your family, would you shoot them?
It's different.
How?
How is it different?
Yeah.
Because
Think it up real quick.
okay, no, I'm not thinking. I already know the answer. The basic fact is, if someone walks to my front door with the intent to hurt me and kill me with a taser, that's completely different than some random guy who wrestled a cop, took his taser, and ran away, and just kind of like shot at the cop.
You're
with
at
the
the
taser.
you're at the grocery store, and
Yes.
someone argues with you because you're wearing a mask, and they think you're a sissy. And it goes back and forth, and then it escalates and escalates and escalates, and then eventually they shoot a taser at you. Do you have the right to defend with yourself with lethal, and your family and your kids with lethal force?
First of all, I don't think I would ever get into an argument with someone like that because I would de-escalate the situation, not increase. The
Okay, so not
okay,
You don't have that
so
choice.
You
on your
don't have
property.
that choice, dude.
No.
Okay, here.
you're at the grocery
You're
store
standing
with
at the
Shawn.
grocery store.
Okay,
You
wait.
get into
Imagine
an
it's not
Jeremy.
de-escalating.
Just
You get
imagine
into an
it's Jeremy.
argument. Dude picks up a soup can, whips it at your head, grabs another one, whips it at your head. You're dipping, dodging. There's
I'm gonna
nowhere
leave,
to
I'm
go.
gonna leave. I'm gonna leave the situation.
You think a soup can to the head can you up?
I think a soup can to the head can me up. Yes,
One
it
punch.
it definitely could cause some damage.
And then we're not talking a
One
taser.
Punch
We're
Man?
talking a soup can.
Okay, so you run away, and he's chasing you with soup cans. He's got an unlimited supply of soup cans.
How's he got these soup cans?
You're in a supermarket.
Is he pushing a shopping cart? Because if he is, I'll just run upstairs.
Okay, so
There's a guy
What,
there's a
this
guy in the
Donkey Kong?
grocery
What the
store.
hell, dude?
He's wearing red spandex. He has yellow cape. He's bald. He has a blank look on his face, blank expression, and he's trying
You're
to
in
punch
the
you.
taser aisle.
So One Punch Man.
It is One Punch Man.
all right, so basically, run away is the answer. So these officers who are tasked with basically enforcing the law, and they go there, and the dude's literally asleep in a drive-thru, and they get him out, and they're just doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Literally, they have no latitude in this because body cams, and they have to do it because they're there, and because he's clearly drunk. There's no latitude in anything. And what they should have done when he took the taser away is they should have ran. And that's the society that you think is appropriate
that's
and
completely
livable.
different. It's their job to arrest people. It's not my job to arrest people. If there's a shooting in a building I'm in, do I pull my gun in it and go out to the shooter? No, that's a cop's job. So don't try to say
Are they
I should
shooting
do
at you?
exactly the same thing as a cop does because that's not my job.
Are-
My job is to get out there and survive.
Are they shooting at you?
My job is to get out there and survive. Is it not true?
Absolutely, but are they shooting
Okay.
at you or are they
I have
shooting
no
at other
idea.
people?
I have no idea. I'm just pointing out the incorrect consistencies in your argument. You keep the fact of the matter is it's totally inconsistent. I can leave. I can leave.
Okay,
I
so
have to-
everyone here, including everyone who's commented on YouTube, everyone says that it's consistent and that you're wrong on this, but everyone else is wrong and you're right. That's
no,
what you're saying.
I'm saying, in my opinion, they should not have shot. That's my opinion. I can have that.
Yeah, that's valid. That is valid. That's a valid opinion to have.
I want to point out that this exact situation. One time, I was involved in a situation where I called law enforcement on a drunk driver who was passed out in a parking lot. And while I was on the phone with the operator, they were like, "Okay, so I'm going to have you go ahead and open the door." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And they're like, "Yeah, go ahead and open the door, and then I'll just talk you through some basic first aid to check on
Oh,
him."
that's terribly wrong.
Nope.
That's terribly wrong.
This exact situation is why I was like, I'm not going to do that. I can see through the window that he's breathing. It doesn't look like he's puked or anything. Clearly, he hasn't choked on his own vomit. He's doing okay. He's passed out. I'm just going to go ahead and leave this door closed if you're cool with that. And then when, the actual authorities whose job this is arrive, they can deal with it. And the operator was like shocked for a second. And she was like,
That's a dumb operator.
Yeah, I guess that's fine.
How many cops were on scene, by the way?
Actually, none. Firefighters showed up. Oh,
I'm
for
sorry,
this?
in regards to this shooting.
Okay, so if they have numbers, it changes. So
I'm asking a simple question.
what's
Sean.
the number, 2 or 3?
Two. And
Okay.
only one was
No,
in
you're trying
that
to make a
area.
f***ing
The other
dumb
one was
point
still
again.
way in the back.
Like you're trying to say that, okay, if there's 2 people, well, yes, then they can employ lethal force. Or 1 person, no, they can't. Or yes, they can.
well,
if there's 3 people, though, that's
no.
the magic number, and you have to know specifically how many officers are on scene, because only then can you
Okay.
possibly use lethal force.
No, that's a pretty. I think that's fair on Aaron's part. Like, if there are 10 cops chasing this guy, he's not as much of a threat to one person. One person by themselves, and he has the potential to tase them and incapacitate them. He's a much larger threat to that one person.
But in the moment, getting a taser shot at you while you're chasing a drunk dude who is sleeping in a drive-thru.
I'm not saying that is a. Thank God I'm not involved in this situation, so I didn't have to make that call. I'm just saying it certainly does change things.
Yeah, and again, like maybe I'm being unfair and not doing exactly what I said I needed to do and wait for more information. But it kind of seems to me like if you do something that could end an officer's life and they take your life, well, I guess there you have it. Maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe that's not waiting for the
Should have
information
fought
that I
harder.
need. But going back, I actually do agree. Qualified immunity existed for a reason. Then it became abused. We're going to get rid of it now, which is totally fine. I'm down with that. But I guarantee
It's the pendulum swinging too far.
during our lives, we're going to see qualified immunity or some iteration of it back in effect. And honestly, like, it would be the same way with the unions, right? Like, unions existed for a reason, but now unions are basically con games, and they're completely useless, and they cause more damage than they do good. If we abolished unions, then we'd be great for a period of time, and then we would have to put unions back into effect once all the employers were running roughshod over the citizenry all over again. And I think it's the same thing with qualified immunity. It was there for a reason. It's going to be taken away for a reason, and we're going to see it again in our lifetime in one form or another. That's my thought.
So are you saying that in some situations, regulation is actually a good thing? For example,
Of the government.
Yes.
For example, like in your union example, if unions had been regulated at some point, if the government had stepped in and maybe controlled them, they would potentially still be around and be a good thing in moderation versus running rampant.
There's tons of unions out there right now.
And I definitely think
I know,
that some things, like, okay, what about like health inspections and things like
Yeah.
that?
I disagree with them.
What's that?
I do. I honestly do. I don't think restaurant, because if you just make a bunch of people sick and it's known, hey, if you go there, you're going to get sick, you go out of business.
True. Maybe.
So, no. Health inspections.
But an old person could get sick and die.
What-
or
yeah,
a
like
little
what-
kid could get sick and die.
That's fine. It's true. It's true. But you know what? World's not fair.
I think that we saw with
good thing they
poor
don't have
attitude.
good thing they don't have qualified immunity then.
we saw the mortgage bubble, and like maybe a little bit of oversight on that would have been a good thing. I don't know.
I just want to keep this going.
No.
What else can I say to piss people off? All right, so
Chris says, what about registration? Does it lead to confiscation?
Not in all cases, but it does in some.
Several.
So, and people are talking, are you okay with police being disbanded in Minnesota? Yeah, absolutely. Because guess what's going to happen? Roz the Warlord's going to take over. And dude, like, I mean, yes, I am so down with that because honestly, it's job security for us because like more people will want guns and the ability.
Yep.
No, I'm not even kidding.
no.
Like I posted that meme the other day of the dude behind the tree, like licking his lips. I was like, yeah, when I see them talking about disbanding police and shit like that, I'm like, I'm that dude because I'm like, yeah, fucking,
You're going to show up as Nick Cage. And be
yeah.
like, dude,
By the way,
Well, no, just like our
cha-ching,
show,
cha-ching,
like
cha-ching, cha-ching.
why hasn't that guy taken the tag off his sleeve? It really
I
bothers
don't know.
me.
But yeah, like the more they do like this and the more we descend into lawlessness, because guess what? Like do any of us actually think that by disbanding and going to a more community policing effort that the actual criminals out there who want to hurt and steal and rob and maim and beat and kill and rape, like, are they just gonna wake up one day and be like, you know what, maybe it's a better time? And what if a few of them do?
No, I talked about this with earlier with my mom and my wife, and I was like I get it. Like, if you have a 16-year-old autistic boy who has violent behaviors, the police are probably not the best people to come deal with him when he's throwing and tearing the house up. But
Correct.
you're going to need somebody there with handcuffs in case. You can't just send social workers. I mean, from what my family's done for a living, you could have that 16-year-old boy with autism, and he's 6'8" and weighs 350 pounds. And you send a 5'2", 110-pound social worker over there to talk to him, and he might hurt.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, look, like getting rid of the police. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, here's another one.
Sometimes tasers catch people on fire.
Cops aren't going to child protective
When they do,
services,
it's awesome.
welfare checks anymore. Welfare checks for children. Cops, two social workers show up, and there's 4 or 5 kids running around. Mommy and daddy are heroin addicts, but they still, for whatever ability they have, love their children, and you're trying to take them away. But there's no cops there because they've been defunded, and morale's so low, nobody wants to do the job anymore. And 2 social workers get killed.
No, well,
first of all,
welfare check is not when they take the kids away. They would probably come back and take.
You
and
don't
take them.
know what people are going to do.
Actually,
If
But you're,
nobody's there.
you're creating scenarios where people die.
People are going to get killed. People are going to get raped. People are going to get the kicked out of them, and they're going to be unarmed and not able to deal with it.
First
Cops
of all,
already get killed in those situations.
First of all,
what really needs to
Jerambe-
happen is the cops need to be taken away from stupid like revenue generation.
I
like,
agree with that fully.
Do we really need cops
Yes.
out there pulling people over to raise money for the state
Nope.
when they should be stopping crime? You know what?
Well, they can't stop crime, but they can go
or
investigate.
not, or fight it, investigate it. Anybody, ask anybody who's done a report to the police. If they've had stolen, how many of you got your back?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Very few. Actually, I can't say nobody. Very few.
But very few. So few people, because the cops aren't out there to do investigations for you. They're out there to raise money for the city and the state, because the state most of the time is run by a bunch of idiots. But you start redirecting that energy into doing something productive and leaving people the alone. I mean, if somebody speeds and they get into a wreck, hey, you know what? That's kind of on them. Honest to God.
The same thing about DUIs.
Yeah.
If you drive drunk, like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for it. I don't think DUI laws should exist. If you can make it from point A to point B without killing anybody, knock yourself out.
But if you do,
I think there should be harsher laws if you are
yeah.
drunk and hurt somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are speeding and hurt somebody.
They're pretty harsh as it is.
in response, not harsh enough, but
if you kill somebody, yeah,
Oh,
they are.
Oh, yeah, you like
You kill
immediate
somebody.
death penalty.
but
Like, they
Jeremy,
double tap you on the side of the road.
in response to your social worker argument, first of all, the world's not fair and people die. So
I mean, that's
you
true.
know. Second of all, it sounds like a great opportunity to privatize law enforcement.
Oh, OCP in the house.
If only those social workers had some security guards to walk up there with them, or bodyguards or whatever.
yeah.
Problem is, they're government employees, that money's going to come from tax
It
dollars.
sounds like we need to privatize social workers.
Uniformed bodyguards, maybe, so people know that they're the good guys.
Yeah.
Just wearing a uniform is a deterrent, by the way.
It is actually. But yeah, okay.
It's like my boog shirt's a deterrent.
Exactly.
And I think they need to get rid of a lot of policies that take up the time of police that's pointless. Victimless crimes and like that.
Yes, victimless crimes need to go the away. Pay a fine at the most. I mean, get over it. If nobody's being hurt, why do you care?
Dude, and it's like, honestly,
It's behavioral control.
I see the dude shooting the taser at cops, and I'm like, you know what? Good, whatever, that's fine. I see George Floyd, and I'm like, yeah, he's a terrible human being by all accounts, but still, in no way, shape, or form that he deserved what happened to him. Because like he even resisted slightly, didn't want to go in the car because he was claustrophobic. Makes no difference whatsoever. He didn't deserve what he got. Like, I don't care how terrible of a person he was. Like, he did not deserve that specifically.
No, he deserved it. It shouldn't have happened by legal standards. He deserved every bit of it.
Because of the past, because of what he did.
Because of the past. He deserved it. He should not have
disagree.
died that way because that's not how our legal system is set up. That being said, I'm glad both these pieces of are dead. Pointing guns at women, pregnant women's stomach and beating your kids. I'm glad you're dead. Two less pieces in the world. The world's a better place for it. Off.
Yeah, I disagree.
I, for one, look forward to going to a Roman-style firefighter system. If you guys aren't familiar with that,
like a gladiators.
Where they all fought each other, and if you
like the actual firefighters in ancient Rome. Go read about
like
it.
The
it's
fire
great.
brigade.
Yeah, it's great. Great system. It worked really well.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going, but Aaron, I don't agree with you, but it was a good debate nonetheless. And I value the fact that we can have these kind of debates and yell at each other. And look, yeah, sometimes we get saucy, and that's fine. But the fact is, we're still friends, and I think that the world needs more of that, right? Like, we can get fiery with each other, and we're fine.
Yeah, and we can still hug it out at the end.
I'm not hugging you, you
Dude,
socialist
you know
piece
you. Every time I you hug me.
It's true. I hug all of you because well, not Savage, but no, I probably hug Savage too. All right, that was good stuff. Before we go, we got to do a couple
Not my
things.
fault the sawed-off doesn't show up to anything.
I know. All right, so Hackett Equipment, we recently got them as an advertiser, and lots of people have been ordering their stuff. I've been using the double rifle bag actually quite a bit. Jeremy, you've got the Ruck.
Yeah. And the Big Bertha.
And the Big Bertha. And Aaron, you got that plate carrier, right? You enjoying that?
I love it. I'm wearing it right now.
No, you're not.
I know.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's a
But hey,
podcast.
before you can, go ahead, finish the ad read. But I do
Okay.
want to address something in the chat.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, I think that Hackett Equipment has been making good stuff for a long time. Their glasses I actually use pretty regularly, so you might want to check those out as well. And I know they're doing a big update to those coming up very soon. But man, double rifle bag, I am actually very impressed with it. It's very similar to another one that I have, actually like my favorite rifle bag that I've had. But now I've got this one in gray. It's awesome. HackettEquipment.com. WLS is life. 21% off all day, every day. Go check them out and support the companies that support us. It is time for the reviews.
But before that, I just want to say, someone asked, Roden asked, you guys think mandatory military service would be a good idea? And I do. I think it should be compulsory.
Nope.
Some kind of civil service would be nice, but that'd
I'm
be
actually
socialist.
surprised that you're for that, Aaron.
I am too. So I don't think anything should be mandatory.
Oh, I'm pro military. I mean, and again, like
I'm
sorry,
obviously pro-military.
I mean,
I'm
pro-
anti-military,
I'm pro,
especially veterans.
service to the country. I think I'm a big fan.
Well,
of
going back to
America.
Starship Troopers, right? Like if you had to do, not compulsory, but if you were able to do military service to become like a higher
citizen?
class of citizen,
Yeah,
I think that should exist.
I kind of agree, actually. Yeah.
like you can vote when you're 18, but you have to be you'd have to go through service.
I think something like that would be very good.
That I'm totally pro for. Yes, I think that's a great idea.
I can agree with that. Like
Service guarantees citizenship.
it's like enhanced CCW. You take a class and you can carry in more places. I think that's stupid, but yeah, I think that by giving more to the country, that you could earn more rights or
Not rights. Everybody would have to have the same amount
equal
of
rights, but
But it's like
you're
that.
literally
It's like I don't think
describing
voting
not
should be a
equal rights.
right.
say again, Jeremy.
I don't. I said not more rights, but like voting shouldn't be a right.
It should be a privilege.
Voting should be a privilege because not every uneducated out there should vote. Because if you don't know what you're voting for, you should not vote. If you do not understand the issues and cannot comprehend what you're doing, at least for your beliefs, you should not vote.
But who decides whether that person
I'm not
is
saying
educated or not,
to
or
stop
whether they
somebody
know?
Well, I do
How
say
do you
that.
how do you select who is actually smart enough to vote?
Not smart. Well, we
Educated
have,
enough.
I mean, that's
We
what you
have-
just said,
no,
was
no, not
educated and aware of what was going on. And
we can legally claim somebody mentally defective.
okay,
That's a thing that we already do. And it's nothing to do with education or, I'm saying, a personal responsibility to not vote on items you're not educated on. That being said, like I said before, somebody who has taken money from the government in the last election cycle or the last 4 years or whatever you want to call it, or somebody who has not paid federal income tax, that they shouldn't, because if you don't have skin in the game, you don't get to vote. And if you're taking money, like the whole welfare thing, if you're on welfare, you don't get a vote. That means because you're taking money from the government, you signed a contract with the state that said, I understand that by taking this money, I'm giving up the ability to blah, 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 blah. Or otherwise, don't take the money.
Well, see, here the problem with that system would be that the people who aren't on welfare and have a lot of money will be able to influence people and keep people without money and stay in power.
And coming next on We Like Shooting, we'll discuss voting and who should be able to vote and who shouldn't be. Right now, we're going to do reviews.
It's positively Pozderac, positively Pozderac.
Because holy that's another hour and a half conversation. We're already like an hour over it. Jeremy, read 2 reviews, please.
Oh, just hit X.
Hold on.
Well, hit O.
No, I hit Control-Shift-E.
No, hit Control-Shift-T.
Control-Shift-T.
Right back.
I did. I hit Control-Shift-T.
Yeah, it brings up the tab that you just closed.
We're getting Swift-T.
Uh-huh.
Awesome show by NP Cross Country 23. 5 stars. I love the show. Great listen. Nick P.
Short and sweet. Love you.
WLS guys are great by Lick My Tit. 5 stars. Hey guys, I have listened to every episode since day one of the podcast. I love this podcast. It's my favorite one to listen to twice a week. I like the smart ass crew and fun stuff you guys talk about with the gun community. I'm super jealous of all the fun guns you guys get to play with all the time. I've been wanting to leave a review now for 3 years, but I'm a lazy slacker and haven't. That's not good. Anyways, that's for the good podcast, guys. Also, we need more sassy fighting between the crew. It's good humor. Well, you got that.
Well, granted.
That is amazing. Guys, join a gun-related advocacy group such as FPC, GOA, or SAF. There's some good ones. And we give out the suicide prevention line for most of the episodes, but not all of them. The number is 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-TALK, or you can text the number 741-741. It is a very important time to give that number out. And if you know somebody who's having a tough time, give them that number. Be there for them if you can, if you are emotionally capable of doing so. And I only say that because having talked people off cliffs before, I understand the toll that it takes. And it is a tough thing to do. These people are there, they're prepared, and hopefully have a little bit more resources available to them. But, if you can provide that talk and provide that help, great. If you can't, encourage, call with them, all those different things. There's a lot of stuff you can do to be involved, and just be aware of your friends. Like if someone's not acting right, Aaron.
What?
Okay?
I'm not doing anything.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm just cutting my fingernails.
Oh, okay. I did that last night.
I was going to use
Don't
clippers.
cut yourself,
Aaron.
Aaron.
When I use clippers because it's so loud.
Aaron just wants to feel alive.
It's like branches snapping.
But guys, listen to We Like Shooting. We're here live every week, Mondays and Wednesdays, on demand every day. Go to welikeshooting.com/show to subscribe. And as we always say, thanks for listening. Get some medical training and shoot straight. All right, so I already named the show. It's WLS 354 with Spencer and Chaz.
I love it.
I'm even going to rush the because we're so far over time. I even paid the editor extra money because we're so long.
Yeah. I was like, oh, we don't have a guest. This is going to be over quick.
Yeah, me too.
No, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I'm going to get some sleep tonight.
Did you think that show was worth $1? Help the cast by visiting lovewls.com.